Welcome to Big Daddy Hacks Live. What's going on YouTube and Facebook as we're streaming to both platforms. Going to be our first interview since going over to StreamYard and using this format, using this program. So it's going to be interesting. We'll try a few things tonight, so bear with me. So we're starting a little early. We'll get Nate added in here probably in the next 3 minutes. But I want to test some things out. Make sure we share it. Like I said. I think it was last week when I went live and just kind of get the introduction to how we're going to be doing things, some drops from Anarchy, talk about this new service, and how I got to share it now. It goes right to the Facebook profile page, and then I have to share it to the group from there because, unfortunately, how they do things here, you can't just go straight to your group. And I know it's, can't be Big Daddy Hacks Live if the lives ain't going to Big Daddy Hacks Live. So you guys get a chance. Also share it because sharing is caring. If you got something going on, I'm most definitely going to share it. We want to spread it. And that way, if I bring you on and interview with you, people will share it. More eyes on you. So we want to do the same thing for Nate. Label it real quick. Here we go. So, seeing Fridays are busy for Anarchy, man. We've had a busy day. That's why I did the story and said, don't let all this busyness, let you guys forget that we had this live tonight. With bat drops that are going on, we have a lot of new things for Anarchy. If you guys go to the website and check it out, www.anarchybats.com, you'll see the new bats that we dropped with the baked ASA, which is a 13-inch half-ounce end load ACX 360 tech. Talked a little bit on some of the bats that are coming out for ASA. Talked about that on Austin Jockum's YouTube Aurora Anarchy Aurora video that he did, which is our also ACX 360 tech. Got to be a part of that video with him. That was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of things on there. Unfortunately, with the sound and everything else, and John, but I talked about another bat that I just dropped, which was the Joker, and that was going to be the same tech with a half-ounce end load. And had one coming, but they sold so well and they sold out so fast, and the way they went that the one that had coming had to go to a customer, which is how it should be. But I have a couple of bats coming in, which I don't want to spoil everything, because I like to do what's in the box and do the little reveal. What I will say is one of the bats that's coming in is the baked to make up for the Joker, because it's going to be that 13-inch barrel, half-ounce end load. It's going to be the same bat as the Aurora, but with that half-ounce end load. And the graphics on it are pretty dang cool. I saw the cookie. Like I said, sometimes I see mock-ups and stuff, and I'm like, cool, but not really for me. And I saw the actual bat with the live photo, and with a little bit of graphics and the detail. I was talking about this year with our graphics team, the detail they put into the ASA bat. I'm a U-Trip guy, like I am. But I think the ASA version is cooler looking than the 240. But once again, that red pops really well off the Big 240 bat. And that's going to be your ACX 7 tech. And I can't wait to see reviews on that as well. What we're going to be doing here coming up is I'll probably do a solo review with the ACX 360 baked ASA when it comes in. And then I'll do a comparison after it's got some swings on it and do a side-by-side with that. The Aurora, maybe do a little challenge. We've done that with hit tracks and some of those things, so we'll do that. I got a bunch of 240s in, ordered a couple, and some being sent. So I have to get some swings and reviews with those. I'm also going to let Austin take a few and do his reviews because he does a great job. He reviews for everybody. He's just getting started with it. But having the relationship I have with him, I can get him some bats. So, and it's great for us on our side of things too, because he's outside source and he's going to give his honest opinion. And that's what I want. One more thing I told him: don't hold back. Say what you feel. I don't need car salesmen. I need somebody that truly believes in the product or truly gives constructive criticism. I want to hear, how you really feel about it, because it doesn't do anybody good to blow smoke. And speaking of smoke, you guys got to check out that free smoke, Nate Buck's bat. I don't want to get too much into it because we're bringing him on and let him talk about it. But my buddy got his own bat, and he deserves it, and it's going to be awesome to talk about it. It turned out clean, and it wasn't. I didn't know what to expect with him having the free smoke. That's his page where he runs his brand, and we've done some collaborations, and we've played together, and we've been boys since the first time we played against each other. But with that, there's there'd be a lot to talk about on that end, and I want him to get into it and why the specs are the way they are. So I won't get too much into that. But man, that solo too that just dropped. A lot of guys, you know, they got the Magic Mike bat. They love that 3/4 ounce end load, and I've had so many people request the 3/4 ounce end load. Hit me up. Are they going to do another one? Are they going to do another one? Going to do another one? Do another one. That's why I tagged Brian McDaniel. Or McDonald, sorry. He just constantly, when I saw him, hey, they're going to do a 3/4 ounce end load. And that's one of my guys. He's part of the Big Daddy Hacks Anarchy player rep team. And I was like, buddy, I had to tag him. They did it just for you, man. But no, they did it for all you guys that wanted it. And I haven't tested that one out for myself yet. I've swung other bats in the past that had 3/4 ounce end load. And I like that. I mean, I like a half and I like a full. 3/4 ounce is a really nice feel, that in between. A lot of times you're not going to feel it so much when it's in your hands. And we had that. I just had that whole thing with someone I was talking about bats that messaged me today. It's more about your swing. You know, you could take multiple brands and digital scale their 26s, digital scale their 27s, digital scale their 28s, digital scale the end loads, all that. And they could come out close. They come out right around the same, whatever. But when you swing, it doesn't mean the swing weight feel is going to be the same. And that's why you can't get so glued that I'm a balanced guy. I only swing 25 ounce balanced, maybe in one brand, but in another brand, you might swing a 26 half ounce end load because they feel similar swing weight wise to that other brand that you're successful with the balanced. So I'll get more into that. I mean, Nate's done a lot of reviews. He's done a lot of testing as well. We're kind of bat hose. So he likes what he likes too. He's been a big 1 ounce end load guy for a long time. I've kind of gone back and forth. I just recently have now kind of fallen in love with going a little bit lighter and then adding that more end load to it. I've had some success with that this year with having to swing the demo bats quite a bit that we had come in and going to tournaments where I needed to be swinging the newest tech. And all I had was the demos. So I swung those and I got those lighter for a reason, like we've talked about in previous lives. It's so the masses can swing them. Because a lot of times people see my bats and they're cool and they want to check them out and they want to swing them, but not everybody likes to swing a 28. So with that, we got Nate Buck in the waiting room. I'm going to see how we get in, patching him in. Should be pretty easy. Boom. Let's get him added in here. There he is.
What's going on, man?
See if we do it like that. A little bigger. Here we go. That one works. What's the different options we have here? Oh, we have that. I'll make you a little guy. What's this one?
I'm a big guy, man.
Mess everything out. Big feller. We got like the stadium layout or theater layout. We got kind of like this one though. Like
I wanted to do a cool background, but I don't know how all that stuff works. I'm new.
Well, when you go to I know when I went to the waiting room, when I went on the Just Bring It with Mike and them for that for the charity one they did, it was real quick the setup. And it was an option, and you probably have it if you on your screen if you don't have it as the full screen right now. You have different option windows and tasks, and you can go into like your settings or your camera options, and then you can change it. Oh, mine's like right on my home screen, so I can do like banners and stuff. So I can do like take that off, add that back on. That gives our website and everything else. So it's a really cool system. This actually works great. Kind of like we have a lot of things we could talk about tonight and get into. I want to, it's your interview, so I want to talk a lot about you and your history in the game, and then talk, work our way through. But it'll be a night too. I want to do a round table, and like I said, we talked about on the phone, bring in a couple of our reps, a couple of affiliates, talk about things. But this has been great because I got some videos that I'm doing to actually pass to them, to pass messages on and stuff. And this has been, I was toying with it today to see how it worked, and it's cool for that. Or if I want to do a meeting with them, it's like it's similar to Zoom. That way I can have them come on and do a meeting with them, and I can have stuff, PowerPoints and stuff I can pull up while we're having the meeting. So so far it's learning because I got so used to one service, but I'm liking it. You can change different things on this one too. Like I can change the brand up top in the corner. Put a little Anarchy brand in there. You have that duck from StreamYard up there. So you can do the backgrounds. You can do. I have a few different ones in here, and there's the one behind me, and then if I go to the smaller view, you can see there's the additional one with our bats in the background. So there's a few different options. Boom. So what's been going on, brother?
Nothing, man. Just trying to stay cool and working a bunch, trying to play as much as I can, and chasing kids.
Yeah, I've seen some really good content and some of the videos you posted, and then it sucks because I said, hey, send me some footage and stuff. You sent me really good stuff, but you didn't have much yet with the new bat. Luckily, I was able to go pull some pictures and everything. But
no, I haven't got out to swing a whole lot. The last couple weeks, I've been putting in the backyard, and shoot, I've only played in 2 tournaments in the last month, so been kind of taking a little bit of time off. So, but I'm gonna go hit tonight after this, and hopefully get some more footage of it. So
getting into your bat, I mean, we can talk about a little bit and kind of go into you a little bit more. But everybody's kind of seen it as they're getting to know you. You have your loyal fan base and customer base, and the people that know you in your area, supporters, and then a lot of people this year are seeing the changes that we've made with Anarchy, with the graphics, with our tech, and how the bats we've been having these drops like every Friday or every other Friday, and different bats are dropping, and they start to correlate if they're not familiar, like with Levi or like with Dakota or with you or with Kyle or with they're starting to. They're starting out to put that together and see that. But first, the first thing that gets them is the bat. It's like, well, that bat fits my style. I love the graphics on it. I like this. And they're like, well, who's this? And then they go with it. But I think also the like I was just talking about before you came on, talking about like the 3/4 ounce Enlo that's gotten kind of popular. I felt a lot of requests for it. And now it's Magic Mike's bat, Snyder's bat. And now we just did the solo with Levi and Dakota on there. And that bat, just with the graphics and how it pops and everything, I'm getting blown up over it. With your bat, it's like a whole different base that gets blown up over it. And like, that guy, right? And then one of your buddies, I'm like, yeah, we were teammates. We've been buddies for a while. We played against each other in Vegas and became friends since then. And then we got to play together for a short bit. And I said, it always seems like anytime I get deep in a World Series, we end up playing each other. I don't know why.
But, yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
And but what was your reason for going with the specs you went with on this bat?
I don't know. I've like you said, I've been swinging the 1 ounce for a while now. And before I was just a longer barrel, 1/2 ounce end load. And what got me on the 1 ounce is when we dropped the original red, the OG red, that was a 1/2 ounce end load. But then when they started coming out with different batches like the blue, the end loads were different. Even though they were labeled the same. And then I got the teal, and the teal was a 1 ounce end load. And the teal and the red were the exact same specs. So since then I just stuck with the 1 ounce end load, 13-inch barrel. Hasn't done me wrong yet. Found out pretty quick that the Bud Limes were something special. So that's been my gamer the last 2 years until my bats came out. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll stick with the 13-ounce, 1 ounce end load till I guess it fails me.
That's funny because we talked about that, and I hadn't really messed with them until I was with Bay Area, and my Michelob Ultra failed, and I didn't know that because they put it in the bucket and they did it differently that tournament. And so I went to go grab it out, and I was like, "Where the fuck is my bat?" Like, oh, it failed. I'm like, well, they put it in the bucket. I'm like, no, but they put them this way. They passed. It's upside down. They failed. And I was like, oh, that's dumb. Just don't put them in the bucket. And luckily, I tested that turquoise just so I had a backup bat. And then I used it, and it felt really good. And then that one was light compared to the one I ended up really loving, the 27 with I used for BP a lot. It was a 26 with 1 ounce end load. But what I liked about it was I felt like I could wait for forever. My timing was there. If a guy quick pitched me, it was light enough and quick enough that I could go out and get it. And the end load in it gave me that extra snap where a lot of light bats, I lose that. Like light bat's nice for, it's light. You feel like you can almost kind of be a surgeon, just throw your hands at it. But sometimes I feel like when I want to get after one, I can't get my ass into it because it's just too light.
Yeah.
And our end load, I think, is I've actually kind of went back to that now. Like I wrote you that one, the one night when I was in Kansas City. I said, buddy, I think I'm back in the 1 ounce end loads because I was swinging that apocalyptic that I got in to be a demo bat. I ordered it because I had the other 2 versions of that model with those specs and a 27, 28. with the open season, but I didn't have one in a 26 for people to demo. That's the only reason why I really ordered it, and I used it in BP just to see how it felt before we played. I ended up testing it, put it in the bucket, and instead of being my backup bat, it became my gamer. And I was whacking it with that thing, and I was like, man, it kind of brought back that why I went to it. And being a 12-inch barrel, I felt like I still had that flex I needed. But you kind of prefer the 13. Is there a reason why you prefer the 13 like over the 12?
More forgiving, and then with when you go with that heavier end load, it still stays smooth through the zone. Yeah. It's not like a 12-inch barrel, and I actually like a 12-inch barrel full ounce end load, but you get that sledgehammer effect where if you take a swing off or you're not controlling your bat, I mean that end load will get the best of you, and you roll over, you'll do whatever. So the 13-inch or the 13-inch 1 ounce, I can still control to, backside, all parts of the field. So I like it because it's forgiving and it's still smooth through the zone.
That's why I figured out with the lighter, because I like the 12-inch barrel 1 ounce end load, and I have the open season in a 28 and in a 27. But I had a really good round of BP with it before we played in Kansas City. And even Brandon was like, "You're not going to swing that? Like, you're smashing with that thing." I go, "Yeah, but I didn't think I had the back control. Like, there's some I was trying to hit liners and work the gaps a little bit and kind of work on keeping it down, because I was actually protecting Big Bubs who's in front of me. So the only time I'm going to swing for it is if he doesn't. So I needed to have that line drive swing down, and I was going for line drives but hitting absolute tanks. And I was like, well, with the weight behind it being a 12-inch barrel, I'm getting a real sledgehammer effect like you talk about. And as I swing through the zone, it's like that snap at the end. I'm not controlling it. So when I went to the lighter ounce, it seemed like that really made a difference. And I can now get the back control I wanted out of it with still having that heavier end load for the snap effect when I needed to go yard with it. But I feel the same way with the 13s. I think the 13s, they're more forgiving at the bigger sweet spot. But I think if you're going for like that smooth swing, like if your role is that like you're not really in the position to be hitting a bunch of home runs, I think the 13 is the best way to go because it's such a smooth swinging bat.
Yeah, I agree. I like, well, and coming up through the ranks, dude, bat control is a big deal. It's what's fun about playing this upper level ball is, there's a little bit more chances to free swing, but it is nice having the bat that you're comfortable with to where you can cut a gap or keep it down. 12-inch barrel, I do have my problems trying to keep it down with those bats.
You guys are just snapping your swing, like you stay so tall through it and you snap through it. And I can imagine with that little extra flex, because you're not a big hit over the stadium lights home run guy. You're a guy that hits it under and 40 feet farther than the guy hit it over him because it's just driven out of the park. Like when we played in Colorado together, or anytime we played together, even playing against you in Florida, I told the guys where to pitch you. I said, dude, he drives it so hard, just keep him up and let him fight himself. But if you throw him low, I said, I'll tell you from experience, he'll blow your ass up. But coming up, I know we talked a lot, especially as you were making the steps. We talked a lot, after Vegas and stuff. Come from the area out of, you're having that success now. Like last year, we ended up playing against each other. We took third at Worlds. You took second. Now getting to play even more upper ball and getting that recognition. I know it feels like long overdue, because you've taken the steps, taken the time. I think in the long run made us a lot better players, probably the most, because you look at I'm talking about some people that just like to jump steps and and they have that little struggle because they didn't come up the right way. But yeah. I think you know what I'm talking about. But with that, with your journey, how's it been? Like, I mean, especially coming from your ex, we talked about that too. How's that ride been? Talk about that a little bit, like what got you into the game and got you where you are now.
What got me into softball just towards the end of high school, me and the buddies started playing a little bit of slow pitch with our high school buddies. And then after college, I moved out here to Utah, started working, and I ran into some people out here, started playing. A guy named Chris Anderton. He had a team called the Frontier Grill. we just kind of started up an ED team. Played with him for probably 4 or 5 years. Had some pretty good runs, had some good times. And then we got bumped to C the 1 year. Not sure why. And then after that, a lot of guys kind of fell off a little bit. Guys had jobs, kids, whatever it was. So I wanted to play more ball. I wanted to play at that next level. So I jumped on with some guys from Southern Utah, Southern Nevada. Started playing there. Played with some guys down there for a year. Then got picked up by a team called Alder. That was my first year going to Florida with the team. And then played a year. After that, played a year of B's with a team called Beitu. Then I went back, played a couple more years of C with a team called Bennett Holmes. Got picked up by Bay Area that year that we played with you, and then the following year got picked up by Nova, and that's a team that we went with last year. Took second at Worlds. But yeah, just kind of been going through all the ups and downs of ball, playing with different teams. Utah's kind of a harder state to play in. I live out in like the northeastern corner of Utah, so I'm like 2-3 hours away from everybody. So getting picked up on a team's been kind of hard for me. Luckily, I've made some pretty good friends along the way, and continue to make more. And it's been fun because go out there and play with those guys, and they're happy to have me, and I'm happy to play with them. Just a little bit of travel, but you know how it is. You'd probably drive and travel a lot more than I do, but yeah. This year started out. Me and 5 of our guys got picked up by Bay Area again after last year. I ended up leaving Bay Area after a couple tournaments. Now I'm playing with another C team here in Utah called iStone.
So yeah, I didn't know about that part. So I didn't know that you left Bay Area and whatnot. I know things change a lot. I mean, there's schedules change, everything else changes. Yoli, I've had a good relationship with Yoli. It was we built a really strong one before I had left. I got a lot of respect for him. We still talk from time to time, but making those moves, I didn't realize that. But how are things going now since you made the move?
They've been going good. I've played 3 tournaments with these guys. We took second in one, third in another, and we just won USSSA State a couple weeks ago. So
I saw that post. Yeah,
pretty good group of guys. Kind of fit in pretty good with them. A lot of family guys, so they bring their kids and their wives out. So it's fun because I can bring my wife and kids, and my wife's not sitting by herself chasing kids by herself. It's kind of like its own little daycare system. Everyone shows up and the kids just run amok together. So it's kind of fun. You don't have to worry about your kids as much because there's 14 other kids right there in the mix with all the moms. So
yeah, your kids are most definitely in the mix too. I remember us taking BP and everything. They're right there. You got a fun bunch. You got Hucks out there trying to outdo you in home runs.
Yeah. Hux is my wild man. He's all about anything whacking a ball. He's all about it. Whether it's golf, baseball, softball.
As we were walking around, just picking up random bats, and he'd walk around with them while we're hitting. He didn't care who's there. Just grabbed him, checked him out, walk around.
Yeah, he's not shy.
We got some comments coming in here. I'm trying to see who's all coming in. Oh, they're talking about I was on here earlier talking about the ASA Joker. Yeah, I got some more stuff coming in, and I teased it a little bit, but I was supposed to have one of the Jokers coming in, but the sales at McQuaid's was crazy, I guess. I was supposed to go to McQuaid's and play with Chad, and then Kevin ended up going, and I was really mad because I'm like, there's a lot of people there, and I went to Kansas City because we were short, and I felt obligated to kind of do that because that's who I've been playing the conference events with that team with Vivid Customs Nerds, and that's I don't know if you ever met. I don't think Mike was there when we played in Colorado. because I think he stayed and played ASA Nationals, so he wasn't there. But he does a lot. He's been around for a long time. He puts a lot of his own money up and everything. I know how much he sacrifices and the time he puts in. So I was like, all right, I can't do that too much. I'll go. But I was keeping in touch with Kevin, and he was telling me how the sales were going. So it got to it where we ran out. Like, I went to go look on the website, and all we have is a Syndicate and the new baked. Yeah. So when he sent me saying, hey, I was kind of like, tell me you love me without telling me you love me. And he sent me, I got the email like right after that with these bats have shipped. And I was like, oh, well, that's a good one. I should make a reel on that one. You know what I mean? That's a bat horror video if I ever saw one, and then, next thing I know, my wife's like, what did you order? Cause we share a link for email. And she goes, oh, okay. You didn't order that. It was sent. And I said, yeah, but it's the USSSA version that's coming, not the ASA because of they just don't have any. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Just order that new baked. And I was like, that's how I know you're my special someone. Without missing a beat, you're like, just go ahead and order that other one.
My wife's like, better not be ordering another bat.
You just make it up. Like, oh no, this one was sent. This one's a test.
she knows better. And if I don't catch them before they hit the doorstep, Hux will rat me out because Hux will go and get the scissors and he'll open it up for me and pull it out and run around the house showing mom and everyone else.
You come home and it's already got 35 swings on it from Hux.
Yeah. He's gotten in trouble a couple times because he's unwrapped a couple bats and I'm like, oh, dude. No.
Especially if you're getting it for like a customer or something like that. You're going to do like a delivery at a turn or something.
Luckily, he hasn't. That hasn't happened, but a couple of my bats that I didn't want to open, he opened them up.
Oh, it's funny. I can see that. Oh, man. Hux. The Hux hacks. I'll do a video with him one day. So I was telling TJ because TJ's got he's got two boys, and one's got more blonder hair, and he's such a good mix of the mom and dad. But when we're all together, he could be like my mini, and then Derek's got the red hair just like TJ. Balloons. I said we should do a video and kind of do the just having a bad day, them out there playing and just getting all mad, and then have the wives come and be like, here, try this, and hand us a couple of Anarchies. And then we go back to us, and I go, we did a photo like that too. We did a couple photo actions where we could do the before and after stuff. And I go, that would be like a cool video to do something like that with the boys because they look like our minis. But I'm sure you can come up with some stuff too. Like when I said when you put the challenge, I'm like, oh man, this guy, look at this dude. I do a challenge. I posted a bad day. Then this guy puts a bad day with kids. This is how do you beat cute kids, dude? Like that's not fair. I said, you know what? I said, Lish, my son's 20. He'll be 21 in August. I said, next time I had a bat come in, have Dominic run out the house all excited. And then run over and open up the box and be like, Dad's got a new bat. And have do cartwheels in the yard, run around like a little kid. I was like, I see your cute little Hux, and I raised you a 20-year-old. See what you got on that one, buddy. Yeah. But so how's your bat? I know you used it like right away since you got yours in. Did you have a chance to even BP one of your free smokes before you used it in the game, or did you just take it right out and game it?
I BP'd it the night before that last tournament. Oh, what's up, dude? You want to say hi to Trav?
What's up, buddy?
Mom's away, so I got some guys that are wanting to butt in.
Got the
but no, I opened it up, went and hit with one of my buddies, or my buddy and his dad. Or no, his dad didn't show up. But anyways, I put like 30, 40 with it with ASA balls, just kind of taking it easy. And I started mixing in some of the hard stuff. We probably put like about 80 each on there, maybe closer to 100, and felt good. I mean, the first couple of hits with those ASA balls, the balls went. And then you get into the harder stuff, and about 50, 60-ish swings, like the feel and the sound changed. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll put this away, and we'll see what it tests at tomorrow. I didn't see what it tested at when we got there. But I BP'd it that morning or that afternoon before we played. So I think after the tournament, I probably had close to 150, I'm guessing. And it was at 255 on two sides and 270 on one. So 150 swings in, it's still got some room for improvement. So I'm kind of excited to see what it does when we get it in between that 240 and 250 mark.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to people like that our bats will drop down to that 255, 250 rather quick, but then they sit there for a long while and they seem to last. That radioactive, that was one of the demos that came from Florida that had me hit. We hit, all the hit tracks with it and everything else. Just finally failed at like 230, and Lee actually spun around. He tested it, like the conference event. He failed. It's done. But he spun just to see because I said, "Can you just test it so I can see what it's at?" And it was like 230 on one side and 235 on the other. And I'm like, that's pretty impressive. All the swings we put on it, other people put on it, and hitting like platinum balls inside and hitting harder balls, that it lasted like that. I was pretty impressed, and it's still going. I mean, it's still alive. It's not. It's the thing's a dinger slinger, and I noticed too, like we hit BP and played in the springs for the military for Band-Aid. It was sending ASA balls a long way. Like I took out the open season, basically out the wrapper, and hit that in BP there, and it was launching the ball. And I think honestly that little extra end load too, or if you're playing with a Classic Plus, or if you play a tournament where it's U-Trip or like Whaley's, it might be U-Trip, but they use a 52-300. If you're going to swing your U-Trip bat for those kind of balls, I think that extra end load really helps with sending those things and getting that extra zip on them. Because it seemed like everybody else was swinging their stuff and it was good, but mine just seemed to have that extra zip to it.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
I haven't played with much of the ASA. Like if we have an ASA tournament, usually around here you can still use any bat. So I just stick to my U-Trip bats when I hit ASAs, and I've never had a problem where I felt like, well, shoot, dude, I really need to get an ASA bat.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm really impressed. Like for both, like for here, it's amazing how many Anarchies I see out here and the impact we've made with our U-Trip bat, and made a lot of believers. But on the ASA side, Minnesota's tough, and like the Midwest can be like that too. But it's like a see it to believe it kind of thing. And if a guy swung, like people all the time, well, I tried Anarchy and I didn't like it. What'd you swing? Well, I swung the Odin, or I swung this. And I'm like, well, those were kind of like you had to put a lot of hits into them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the original, the 220s were rough.
Yeah.
They were good. I really liked them. I mean, that's when I started swinging Anarchy. But yeah, they lasted forever. And once you got them broke in, dude, they were good.
Well, our first cross cores were the same way. They were made to be hit. They were made to be a dual purpose. Where if you played where you started hitting the 44 through 75, you could use that bat, which makes sense to hit that market too. But a lot of people say too, like, why shouldn't I always tell everybody, like, hit a good 100 to 200 balls, a 52-300s if you're swinging like the older cross core. But then you can hit a harder ball and get some rounds in with that, and it'll really open it up. And a lot of people are just like, well, I shouldn't have to hit a harder ball to get my bat hot, or get my bat good for ASA. And I go, well, I get that, but this bat's designed differently. But if you realize that if you give it that time, put the work into it, it'll be hotter than the other bats that you're swinging. Those are giving you instant gratification. This will be hotter, and it'll continue to get hot until it breaks. And I haven't seen one fail, but they do take quite a bit. If you're not a person that has that natural power or the ass in the mass, it's not. And to be honest, we talked about this before on here, and I know you were in the chat with us when we talked about it. You got to listen to the masses, because that's who you're making the bats for. You're not making bats for the guys that can really go up there and be monster whackers. You're making it for everyone else. So you got to listen to what they're saying. And we've really done that. You get a chance to swing our new ASA. If you swung any of the old stuff, you'll be really impressed. Even the cross core now, the changes that we've made to it just to make it open up faster until the new cross core, I don't know if we're going to call it the evolution, what we're calling it yet, but like that new cross core tech drops, we just tweak these ones to kind of give that gratification until the newest one drops. The one that, we're having hasn't dropped yet because it's still in testing, and we've had to keep tweaking it because it was too hot, that problem. So, and I keep thinking about that bat, and I'm like, I'm swinging the new ACX 360 LC tech that you can only hit the an LC ball with. You can only hit the 52-300 or the 50-275, which vice versa might be 52-275 and 50-300. But that bat has really impressed me. Like that video we did with Austin, it started making a sound change at the end of that. I used that tournament, and the last couple games we played, I think the last game in the men's, I was like, oh, this thing's starting to really feel good. And then the co-ed, I had to keep one down, and it sucked because, the mixture of where they're playing people, and co-eds usually suck for me anyway because I hate, you you gotta be careful of laying off it and hitting it, and then we're playing on fields that are like they were small, so you don't have any home runs, and you're trying to keep it in the park. You're trying not to hurt anybody, and I just hit one down, but I wanted to hit it hard enough to get through the hole. And the sound the bat made, and the way the ball came off, I was like, that thing. I looked at my wife. I said, "Did you hear that? That thing sounded great." And then the reason why when hit the walk off, I was talking to myself. I was just glad I hit another HROs because I went up there and flicked one backside like that day at bat before, and there was a line drive out of the park, and I was like, "It's fucking bad." Like, what's wrong with the bat? It's too fucking hot. It's like we made it too good. I said, I need to make me one that's just like a plastic, whatever around home runs, like just like a blitz ball Anarchy bat, so I could just use that when we're on dingers. And then the next time I flicked it almost went out too. If you watch the video, you could hear it hit the top of the fence and stayed in. So it went from almost being a zero to being the hero just because it hit the top of the fence and stayed in instead of going out. but you'd be impressed, man. Have you tried any of the stuff from this year at all?
I tried a couple of them, and I'm not sure what was what. They had a couple bats out in Florida when we had our demo day out there. And I put a couple swings on some of the ones that they were in testing, but swung the Demon, the Syndicate, and the Atomic.
I feel like the Atomic with that end load.
Yeah, I was gonna get one of those just for league this year, but then again, I was like, I'll just keep swinging what I have. Just I don't know. I don't see the point. We use 52 300s in the league around here, but you can use any bat. So I'll just stick to what I use in tournaments and not switch it up too much. I try not to switch up the bats very much because that's usually when I'll go in a slump or I'll get myself in trouble. Just being stupid.
I kind of like being the same way you are. Like having this is what I like. The 12-inch barrel, 1 ounce end load. I have a couple in this ounce, a couple in this ounce. So I get tired, I have it, and I have one for a backup. So usually playing like I only try to put one. If it passes, I put it in the bucket, and I might put a backup in there. So it might be a 27 and a 28. So if I get tired, I can drop down to 27. But I don't try to have too many options because I was telling Kevin, I said, unfortunately, I can adapt. Like I can become I become a 1-piece barrel guy quick. I can become, a 12-inch barrel guy quick. I can become a 13, a half ounce, a balance, whatever. I adjust to it, and I end up really liking them. I like them all. I'm kind of just that bat slut. I like them all. But, man, does it make it tough if I carry them on me because I also do the demos when we're at the events and stuff. And if we're playing a tournament where we're not testing bats and I can kind of swing whatever, I feel like – I hate to say it because there's probably a lot of people that support him. I don't know why. But I kind of felt like old Brandon Biden there during the debate. I just sit there and go, what do I what's I swing? Like I have no idea. Like I can't. I like them all so much that I can't pick a damn bat to swing. So it's almost a bad thing that I love all our bats.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the bigger tournament, I try. Like if I'm doing a demo or I'm doing a review, I might swing multiple bats. But then right before we're gonna play it or whatever, I make sure I get the swings with what I game to kind of get back where I'm comfortable. And there's no doubt in my mind that this is what I want to be swinging. But I thought for sure you'd fall in love with that ASA Atomic because of the end load in it. And you like that end load. And what I noticed was when they did the Awakening, the one I was swinging last year, and I still swing, it's still like in the bag. And I go to it. I always try to swing our newest stuff, but it's there if I need to go to it. And it's the old Slump Buster. And I thought that was amazing. And the way it opened up, so much faster. They made the tweaks then. But my leadoff hitter, our center fielder, has been swinging the Atomic all year. And he is having a year. And he is not that big, strong, muscle built guy. He's a lean, skinny, fast dude. And he's hit absolute ropes with it. And when I swung a little bit in BP, I'm like, the Awakening is more forgiving. Obviously, I got like over 1,000 swings on it. And it's got a really gross sound. But, man, when I piece it with the Atomic, it's right there with it for distance, for like velo coming off it. It's like right there neck and neck with it. I just think the Awakening is a little more forgiving. Well, the biggest thing that I noticed is they're supposed to be like kind of the same bat, just a different graphics basically between those two bats. But the end load, the Atomic, I can really feel it. And then in the Awakening, it feels almost like a 3/4. It feels more than a half, not quite a full. And that Atomic feels like a full, if not a full and a quarter. Like it's a good little hefty end load in it. And I love that thing. So I know if you were going to play ASA Nationals and you're like, hey, I need a bat, which I swing, I'd be like, dude, you're swinging this. If you're swinging the way you like those, that 13-inch barrel, I'd be excited to see you swing that thing. So are you guys going to play Nationals at all? Because you always seem to end up on teams that you guys play a lot of big tournaments, some of the big, conference events, and then it seems like you are always playing because I watch you. I'll watch your footage and see how you're doing. It seems like even the backwoods ones you get into are bigger events. Like, it seems like there's a lot of teams, a lot of good competition, and whatnot. But is that something you guys talked about playing nationals or any of that for ASA?
For ASA?
Yeah.
No, I've never played ASA.
Really?
No, because out here, if they have ASA out here, it's a couple leagues out in like the Salt Lake area. Out here, dude, I live in a small rural town. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and we're lucky to have leagues. And they do like ASA rules, but they kind of let the bat rules they don't even know really. It's like, oh, is it a bat? Does it have a stamp? Okay, cool, you can use it. Like when I first moved out here, I go to league night, and I don't know anything about softball, and there's guys that are swinging senior bats, like the Ultra 1, Ultra 2. And I was like, oh, okay. I just had like an Easton Synergy back then. That was my the only bat that I owned at the time. And I thought it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But no, I think a couple times we play like the NCS tournaments, AFA stuff. Those are some of the sanctions that we have. But anytime I've played in those ones, it's just like, hey, a couple guys want to go play NCS Worlds. That year that I met you, went down there and played with a team called Arsenal Sports. Just got picked up randomly, and I've played with and against those guys for quite a while now, and got picked up.
That was just a crazy tournament, man, for us to meet each other too. Because I was supposed to be with another manufacturer, and because the story. I was originally going to be with Anarchy, and then it was a whole thing. So I was with Clutch, and they didn't want to. They just pulled me away from them because Leaf had a really good relationship with Pat Sig, but we also had a thing at that time. Clutch had a thing with Smash It, and so there was a whole ordeal, and I didn't know exactly what was going on. I just knew that Leaf had wanted me, and then I didn't hear anything. We talked for a while, I didn't hear anything, and I took it a whole different way. And to the point where I actually, I've talked about it here a few times, where I actually apologized to him when I did sign and get my contract and everything. I apologized. I was like, hey, I viewed you and I viewed things way off. And once I got the truth, do I feel terrible for how I was? And I said, did it fire me up? Yeah. Did I have a hell of a year? Yeah. Because you're another person. I was going to put it in your face. I was like, but man, to be wrong like that. And so for him to put that past olive branch to lead to what it's done and where I'm at with the company now, like I said, that's a crazy story in itself. But I just remember him calling me on my way to Vegas and saying, just try the bats outside. Like, you swung them inside, you love them. I want the opportunity to work with you. And I think this would be great and be a good fit. And, both our media and how we are, this would just be the right thing. And I go, that part's true. And I said, I hadn't really swung them outside because I was the first person to swing the 240 bats with Leaf. And I said, but it was indoors. And I was like, I would like to, but I had the other manufacturer's bats at the time. And it looked like that was the way I was going to go. Then I played on that team, which I knew those guys from seeing them in Texas and playing against them, but I didn't know them. I was there to watch my wife, and they added me on the roster. So I played, and Gilbert, the guy coaching, happened to have a Blue 13 Anarchy that was brand new. I go, you mind if I swing that a couple times? I hit that thing, and I was like, there's no turning back. We played each other. I remember we played each other, and you said, who are you? I said, who are you? And I said, I'm one of the new hitters for Anarchy. And you're like, oh, I'm a rep. I'm a rep for Anarchy. So I told Leaf, I was bragging you up. And we battled, man. I remember you hit me, and then we were going back and forth. I hit one at you at third, and we were just going back and forth. And both our teams, I know on my team, there were some guys that were swinging some absolute gas. And the people watching, no one was talking about their Eastons that were gassed. They were talking about the two guys swinging Anarchy there, just keep going at each other, like just going back and forth, hitting how our bats sounded. And I said, man, that would have been good to get on video with them talking about the background. Cause I had the one short clip, and it was just like, these dudes swinging these whatever Anarchy bats, man, they're just banging. They keep going at each other. And then to find out. And so I wrote Leaf, I said, dude, this guy you got, Nate Buck, man, he did a hell of a job. He was up here just smashing. The guy blew me up. I said, but just great attitude, big plays. I said, hits the shit out of the ball, man. I said, good move on him, good pickup. He goes, yeah. He just messaged me too. He said he met one of my new hitters, and he goes, so that means you're signing? I go, fuck. I was gonna mess with Leaf. I was gonna tell him, oh man, I'm not 100% yet. I don't know. I'm kind of on the edge. I said, yeah, I'm in, man. I'm in. I said, dude, what? Yours too. Like our bats just to the point where I was playing with the English brothers, with JoJo and Blake English. I know you probably played against them a few different times. We played against them with Bay Area when we were together.
Yeah.
And the one, he goes, that's the difference, man. He goes, we're up there. He goes, I'm swinging a bat that is really good. He goes, it's mine's not cut. He's like, but it's failing like bad. He goes, and you haven't been able to hit a home run almost the whole night because you've been behind me. And we low bases for you, you hit one like that, and you do it with a brand new bat. Dude, that's the difference. I said, dude, that's not me. That's the damn bat. That bat's stupid. but
in that tournament, there's a couple of those teams from Texas that we played that they were swinging some bats that were on some diets, some heavy diets. Like, yeah, it was kind of wild. And I'm up there swinging clean Anarchies. I mean, whether they like one might have been on the line. That kill was new, but yeah, that tournament was crazy. Well, it didn't. It was scary because those fields were so bad. Those are probably some of the worst fields I've played on. So you mix that with those type of bats, and dude, the infield was sketchy.
Well, I had a teammate that swung cut stuff, and he asked me, we were hitting a BP session. He goes, so how much do you take out of your bats? I said, the fuck, dude? I said, I don't take anything out of the bats. I just got that one from Leaf, took out the wrapper and hit it about 5-6 times. I said, sometimes if it's going to be my conference bat, I'd hit it like 4 or 5 times before we played and then go in the bucket, and I would never BP that bat again. It'd just be my conference bat. So I made sure it passed every time. And I had another bat that now was borderline or whatever. That was one that I was swinging BPs. If it failed, it failed. No big deal. It's my BP bat. But that's how much I trusted him and how impressed I was. And then this year, like, it takes it a whole other level. This new tech is elongating the sweet spot by 4 inches. It's almost like a dinner mix. If I have a bad day at the plate, I'm so pissed because I can't even blame the bat. The bat's so fucking good. I can't blame it. I'm like, yeah, I suck, dude. No, I mean, you think maybe it was the bat? No, 100% just suck because the bat's really good. I'm just terrible today. Like, so, but it's hard to have even like a really bad day. Like, it's just, you're way off. Either you're uncapping it or you're handling it. You're not getting any part of that barrel on it, because if you put any part of the barrel on it, it comes off that son of a bitch. I'm trying to read some of these other comments coming in here. Let's see if there's any questions coming in. The new tech, barely any swings needed for breaking in. Yep. 100%, Pat. And then Patrick's, I play on Manic for him for the military side. He's big time. He's a smashing sports guy. He's been part of Anarchy, kind of coming back on. We're talking about Kyle Slicker about him, trying to kind of push him because we need, time really before he came on, like, I've talked about it several times, I guess, before, where you were on here in the chat and stuff too. You comment on it, where there's so many aspects of ball. Like I was saying, with you playing some of the tournaments you played, I want to get in that a little bit too. Some of the bigger, like conference type events that are in your area, because it seems like there's some really fun tournaments that you guys go to.
Yeah.
And talk about that a little bit, because it's the other side. Like for us, there's some here, and in Minnesota it's tough. It's mostly ASA area. But I was down in Florida. There's ones that we had traveled to that were, like the Mullet was right there in the hometown, but there was some like Bowlegs. There's been a bunch that's kind of gone, but even now, like I go to Whaley's because that event's big. It's not really associated, but it's a big event. It's fun. I go to this event because it's fun. I go to Boston because that's another one that's just it's a blast. It's a good time around open baseball fields. So there's a few, but every area's kind of got their ones that are big. Like going down and playing Ruidoso with Joey and them and that kind of stuff. Like, I've enjoyed that part when it came to traveling, to go experience some of those big events that I would have never got a chance to experience if I didn't. And the military side, and like with Josh Marley picked up with the native side, I've played BSC. I've played, now the military for how many years? That's kind of where made my start coming up and coming through, playing more competitive ball. But there's so much more. Like the natives, I've told a few people I've been asked before, and I couldn't do it schedule wise, but I'd love to experience that just because it's different, coming from like another culture.
Mm-hmm.
But past that on the military side, I think it's something that Anarchy we could hit a little harder to have like that voice, that person that have a POC that's what kind of their role is. If you have questions or you're interested, you hit that guy up. And I kind of thought of him because was playing for him to see how he was and how he acted, how he treated people, and how he represented the brand for not even really fought under it, officially yet. Like I was really impressed with it. And that and the whole damn team. Like I think I messaged you. I said, dude, this whole team is like Anarchy. Like Jesse wasn't there. I went because Jesse Francis asked me to come play. I said, all right, man, I'll come play. I want to get back in the military a little bit, so I'll come play. And then my boy Blue, who I've grown up playing ball with, he's my ball brother. He couldn't make it. So I go there and I only know one guy, and that was TJ, the guy I brought. But man, what a team. Brought me in, made me feel like family. And then almost over half the team was swinging Anarchy. And I go, this is pretty awesome. I like this. And then that event is when I ended up bringing two other guys onto the Anarchy family with Michael and Jared. And they just had an absolute tournament. And how they were off the field was equally as important. But what are some of the bigger events like for your area? Like if somebody was moving to your area or going to be playing ball or trying to pick up like you, like pick up like if they want to pick up, if they had that caliber talent, they're coming in and they wanted to play on your team, what would be the tournaments you tell them like, hey, you don't want to miss this one?
Oh, dude, softball in Utah is kind of weird. There used to be some big tournaments out here. There used to be like the Vernal All-Nighter would draw close to 100 teams. There's a few out in Salt Lake and those areas. But kind of like the last while, some of those tournaments have kind of gone away. Not sure why, if people just got the people that ran them forever just retired. But we got a few different sanctions that run in Utah. You got AFA, U-Trip, GSL. Tim, our state director, has been doing pretty damn good job trying to get U-Trip back on the map. I mean, he's built the program, the D program. He's put a lot of work into, and shoot, dude, they're having like 30 D teams sign up, close to 30 D teams sign up every weekend. He's having to turn teams away because he can't fit them all. But some of those backyard tournaments, they're kind of few and far between anymore. They're still like if you've ever been to Utah, I don't know how it is out there, but every single town has their own week of celebration where they're like out here it's called UBIC. It's like Uinta Basin in celebration. Like out in Spanish Fork, they just had Fiesta Days. They have Peach Days a little further up north. Those tournaments are kind of like the fun ones that, there's no rules, there's no roster, so you can go up and pick up with the boys and go and have some fun. And it's pretty good competition. More times than not, you'll have a good team, and then there'll be a couple other groups that put together a pretty good team, and it's fun to battle it out in those type of tournaments. Another fun one that draws a lot of teams, but it's run by the city. So down south in St. George, Utah. I don't know if you've ever been there, but St. George is one of the prettiest places in southern Utah. I want to move down there. I grew up close to there, growing up in southern Nevada. But they have a couple tournaments throughout the year. Like they have a couple in February and March that draws a lot because everyone's sick of the winter. So they go down south just to get out of the winter and play a couple tournaments. And then actually this weekend they have the Heat Stroker where it's an all-nighter. So they go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just playing at night. Like I don't think they start games till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Just because like right now down in St. George, it's been close to like 120 during the day. Like it's
hot.
We're under like a heat advisory, and up here we're like 100, 106, but down in St. George, they're closer to Vegas. It's up there to 120, but
yeah, that gets to be rough. Like we travel quite a bit down to Texas and play, and it can get pretty bad. And we played the one time. That's why I said we got my buddy Brandon Mueller my brother from another that's always with me up and down. We played in with Kilburn in a tournament in Allen, and he drank water like he was just drinking liquid IVs, Gatorade, everything. And this dude gets heat stroke. And me and Ross Blonder were just drinking Fireball Dr Pepper all day, and we were good. But it was just tough to like he just like did everything right, and it was hot. Like it got me at the end. Like we ended up hit him hard, and we got to a point where they had to get an ambulance there for him. And we just kind of called it. We were short man and everything, so we said, you know what, that's it, we're done. And as I was kind of waiting for him, I was walking around. I was pulling his ball bag and pulling everything to the car. And I made a couple trips. I started to cramp up towards the end where my calf cramped up really, really bad. And I'm like, man, I'm kind of glad that we called it because it could have got bad for a lot of us. Because like I felt that once I got into a building that was cooled off, I was like, I didn't realize how bad it was hitting me. Like I was exhausted just from that heat. And it was wearing on you. Like I mean, even just working outside, doing what I do when I go out and I work in a job site doing sod or something like that, or rock job or mulch job. Like you'll go and you push through, try to get the job done, and then you'll be in the truck even with the AC hitting. You're just, wow, that was close. You don't really like you just can't seem to catch your breath and the sweat's still coming down because you're
get a headache and
it's so playing ball because we're the kind of guys that getting up at 5 a.m. to go to work. It's like, oh dude, I just want to go back to sleep. But for softball, you're like, yeah, let's go, man. I've had coffee made for 20 minutes. Let's get the hell out of here. So you try to push through it because you love doing it. And man, I mean, that's rough. How's the ball fly when it gets that hot?
It depends on if the ball's in the shade or the sun. They don't fly quite as well. Like we played in Orem last summer in August, and most of the fields, if the balls were in the shade, they hit still pretty good. But the balls where they left them out in a 5-gallon bucket in the sun, they were pretty soft. It was hard to get it out of those fields for sure.
There's some debates I really get into, like big one is I never used to give two shits about, but now like the baseball guys that see like a post of Cannell or Pearson or Streets or somebody hitting a bomb, and they're quick to get in the chat and call him no talent pussy or some shit, or talk crap about how he should be playing baseball or try with a wood bat with limited home runs. And I'm like, yeah, he's on a baseball field. Too. There's limited home runs. I left the actually pretty good post on one the other day, and then because I came up, I swung with bats, swung alloy, swung them all, and the way they changed. But there's things I could debate about. And being in Florida for so many years, the one thing that I got really good with playing with the teams I got with, because of the heat and the humidity and everything else there, balls. Somebody will come to me like, well, this is the best ball. I'm like, the fuck if it is, dude. Like, we tested out every ball through some of the worst conditions. And when those first Gold Dot Extremes came out, like they first came out for the military side, right? They were designed for that. And they were actually a little bit under 12 inches. Then they revamped them and they started selling them, like mass produced them, and it became like the number one U-chip ball to go to if you weren't playing an event where it had to be a Dudley. And those balls were so good that we'd go to tournaments where you could hit a 44 525 or you hit a 44 400. We're like, no, we'll hit these Classic M Gold Dot Extremes. And they performed really well in the heat. But it was we tested out ball, like even the ones that are like the Ultimate Evils, not the Ultimate Evils, but the Evils that were made for heat. Those ones were kind of shitty. The 44 525s were good, and that's why we look forward to like playing some of the outlaw tournaments because we'd order those, Gold Dot Extremes, or Trump Rocks. The one team I played with, if you showed up with anything other than a case of Trump Rocks, they just send you back. Like, nope, go back to the store, dude. Don't bring that bullshit up here. We hit rocks. Yeah. So it's kind of neat, like being in the Spaniards and trying different balls. But when you guys were playing those, because Minnesota's bad. Like I think I was telling you about this before. Like us in Michigan, there's a couple of states. It would be balls, supply your own ball, but it has to be a tattoo. Okay, so you show up, you buy a case of leather tattoos. Oh no, it can't be leather. It's got to be synthetic. So for one, it wasn't in your flyer. For two, why does that matter? It's just the cover. Yeah. Like I've played a few places like that. I've played leagues like that where they did that, and I played a league where your team would hit the balls I bought. And we'd hit the balls you bought. And I go, how is that fair? They could have went to Walmart and bought some of the balls. And we went and bought balls from, ordered them online. I'm like, well, what sense does that make? I was like, so there'll be some dumb shit like that. But that's one of the things I look forward to with some of the backwoods tournaments here that we go to, because we finally get a chance to hit a better ball if it's ball provided. Not all the time. Sometimes they're still the same. They want it synthetic, whatever. But you provide the ball, but we're going to tell you exactly what you can have. Well, then just have there to sell, dude. So we can get the right balls. So we don't show up and now we don't have balls because we brought the wrong thing or something.
Yeah.
But what kind of balls do you guys hit there normally? I know you said you guys hit a lot of the pluses or the ASAs for like your leagues and stuff, but a lot of the tournaments that way too, or you guys use a harder ball for your tournaments?
U-Trip, he supplies all the Pro-Ms. Or not or Pro-Ms or the hardcores. So
yeah, those hardcores have been popular, right? They're supposed to be a ball used when we put in the bigger fields, like the 330 plus. And it seems like everywhere sees those hardcores now.
Those balls are ridiculous. Yeah, they're fun.
They're fun.
They're way fun.
We hit them in Kansas City, like it was like 60 degrees. That one tournament we played, fucking things were just you like just go to flick it and you're like, oh, that one's over the trees. Like they're fun to hit, man.
Yeah, I kind of waiting to see how they do in the heat. So probably this next week when we have this Anarchy tournament out in Orem. Interested, because he's supplying pro or hard course and stadiums, so it's unlimited bombs this next weekend. So I kind of interested to see how those hard cores do in the 100-degree heat on turf.
I thought you were running when you posted that. I go, man, is he running that?
No. Tim Yamashita, he's the state director. Last few years, he does a lot to try to get more people interested in playing. Like he'll do bat provided. He'll do stuff like that. He started doing a couple drafts this year, but he was wanted. I've been after him to do an Anarchy tournament for a couple of years now, and then he finally scheduled it, and then lo and behold, like my signature bat comes out, and he's like, "Okay, well this tournament's going to be about you." So he puts me on the flyer. He bought 20 of my bats. So pretty excited for that.
I got guaranteed sales, man. We had that talk before. I said, buddy, if you really want one, I said, it's everybody's kind of dream, but I don't push it off for things. I know that's not, you're either with Free Smoke, it's kind of blew up and you have a really good following and you have a lot of things. I said, and we're very blessed that way, especially with, I have some breaks in there. Life happens, right? We both have jobs. We both, this doesn't pay all our bills and stuff. But when we come back, we have that support. And you've been good with the, but I remember when I ran the Big Daddy Hacks buy sell trade page, you have to be like proactive and constantly on it or you'll lose because then somebody else has got a raffle going or whatever. And that's where I kind of stepped away from that. I still have it there. Somebody wants to post in it. They want to trade something, whatever. But I haven't done any raffles because I'd rather send somebody over to your raffle and show support that way. Like, hey, go support my buddy because you constantly got something going. They're always really good. I get in them when I can. You had that last one that you did I thought was really cool, but I didn't understand it all too well. I was like, you hit me out, then you tag me on. I go, but I should call them so I understand how this one works because it was a different format how you did it with almost like the Plinko board. Yeah. So I was like, man, I'd be interested to like see how that works because I think it's a really cool concept because you don't see a lot of that. So that was kind of neat. But with your found everything for you to have the bat drop, like I said, I was like, you were kind of getting the runaround before, and luckily now you see like the support you have. Like I remember when I decided to stay, the conversation I had with Kevin and everybody else that was on the meeting on the call, I brought you up, and I thought that was cool that here I'm having a meeting about me, and I brought you up, and I was like, man, I that's what I try to look out for everybody, the people that really deserve it. And I said, I've gone to bat for him, and this guy's busting his ass for us, and he's doing these things, and that's the one thing I love about how we are this year. I think shows more than ever how supportive Anarchy is of us and also our brands, not just because we represent Anarchy, but to help to support our brands and do for us and looking out for the right guys, what you do. Yeah. And I remember just telling you like, hey man, put a post on your page and tell, hey, who I'm affiliated with, who I'd like to make the bat. But if I did a mock-up or whatever, would you guys be interested in a pre-order? I said, I bet the person we're talking about sees the numbers you get. Like, oh yeah, we got to pull the trigger and do a bat for this guy. Because the numbers don't lie, and that's the biggest thing. Like if you get the numbers there, and I go, if that was me, if I really wanted, like, hey, I'm getting the run around. I want to do a Big Daddy Hacks bat. We're running. We're popular. We got all this stuff going. Things are flying. We have X amount of views. Things are really going hot. And kind of like how it was when I was priming it there a couple of years ago. That's what I would do. I would just make a mock-up. I have somebody make it and everything, put it, and be like, well, I want you to do it. You can see the people that want it because numbers don't lie. And obviously, you see, man, like I've seen people eating your bat up and calling me, like writing me about, hey, what do you know about this bat? I'm like, dude, first off, I know the specs, and I know it's really damn hot because that's basically what I was swinging with the Atomic 240.
Yep.
And I'm like, and I think your handle's tweaked a little bit. If am I wrong, is that like we retweaked the handles from the demos. The first demos were really, really flexy.
Yeah.
And we tweaked the handles, stiffened up a little bit. And I was like, I didn't know if yours was tweaked like the open season's a little stiffer yet compared to some of the other ones. And it was done for a reason.
I actually talked to Kevin today about it. Because I think I asked Mike, and he said it was a stiffer handle, but I checked with Kevin today because I knew this question was going to come up. But yeah, Kevin said we went with the 200 handle, and I have a hard time having a conversation with Kevin because that guy is so damn smart. Yeah. He just loses me with all of his lingo, and he's a freaking rocket scientist. But yeah, we went with the stiffer handle on my bat, and I think that's what they did going forward because the first batches were pretty flexy.
Dude, you forget of Kevin, like, so you know the meme where the wife's laying in bed and she's looking at her husband, and she's like, I bet he's thinking of other women, and it's always like golf, or it's like this sport, or it's like softball or whatever.
Kevin,
my wife should be like, she'd be like,
math problems.
To Kevin, you know what I mean? Like, because she knows better. Like, we get on it because he's so busy, and him and Ricky, like, they it's unreal, but he is so like tries to get back to you, tries to do such a good job of staying in touch with you, especially if it's something important. And there's times where we're just chatting about stuff and bad ideas, and I have them all the time, and I'll pass ideas. And it's had some that he already had one on the board. He's like, dude, because I like you. He's like, I already had something like that on the board of ideas, and I'm like, what? So they start sending me some ideas, and we go back and forth. And Lishko knows if I write him and he doesn't write me back right away, I'm probably pretty safe. We're gonna have a night together. You know, I'm doing my thing, and I try to make. Once everything's rolling with the lives again, the interviews are like every Thursday we're going at this time, or every Friday we're going at this, or and they're scheduled. Then I try to make a certain time, like I'm not answering my phone or answering back because this is family time. And that is one thing that I did pick up from Leaf about it's important to cut everything else off and have that family time. Can't be all the you got to make time for everybody and get back to them and give them an answer back. You can't just leave people hanging, but make it known, hey, at this time you're probably not going to hear from me because this is family time. But right now, as you're getting started and we're getting things back rolling again, I am answering a lot and everything. But she knows that, like, especially like we're wrestling fans. We still watch wrestling. So like she's getting ready to watch Smack. She can't watch it right now because I'm doing this live. But she'll know at nights where if the phone don't go off yet, okay, we can get through wrestling and he's probably not going to be distracted and we're going to be good. But if I write and it gets that buzz and it's Kevin, she's like, oh fuck, here we go. She doesn't bitch or complain about it, but I just see it on her face like, yep. I'm gonna have to explain what happened to every match and everything because he's gonna be too busy focusing on BS with Kevin. But man, we get into it, and it's just, dude, the engineering.
You and Kevin nerd out with each other a lot, don't you?
Yeah, dude. All the belt bats and like the specs, like I'm into that stuff. Like I like to know. I've always kind of been that way. Like what makes it tick? Like why is it this way? What's different with this composite? Like, and it's pretty cool picking his brain, man, because he's a cool nerd though. You know what I mean? Like you can bullshit with him about anything. We can talk about all kinds of stuff, but I know there's times he brings shit up and I'm like, okay, as much as I'm interested in it, I'm still got to pick stuff up and puts it down. You have to explain it to me a little bit better than that. Can
you dumb that down for me a little bit?
A little bit. Like
it was, I finally got to meet him in Florida for that demo day that we had down there. And dude, it was kind of cool because you could see like all the work that he's put into this new tech. And dude, he was like a freaking kid on Christmas, like seeing all his hard work, all the trials and stuff, and watching it, being put to work with all of us pros,
yeah.
Seeing the numbers, seeing how they're still passing after, we've gone through a bunch of rounds of BP, and like he had a grin on his face from ear to ear. It was kind of cool.
The kind of person he is too. Like he wrote me, he's on the plane coming back. He's like, we have to make sure you're here for the next one. I'm like, man, because I saw you guys have so much fun and everything. I was like low-key jealous, man. I was kind of like, man, I could be like this butthurt little bitch right now because I had stuff going on. We couldn't really make it happen, and then it just kind of got like, this is happening, and shit. And then I could have made it. And he wrote me, and he's like, you got to be at the next one. Just to take that time out to acknowledge the fact that with all you guys there, everything going on, how busy it was, test out the bats, all the excitement, that he remembered to write me and say, we have to have you at the next one. We have to have you at the next thing like this. Like, you got to be there. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's where I go. I made the 100%. This is where I'm supposed to be. Like the down all down. He does that a lot. Like, just like I said, like, we go all day like about Kevin. Like, he won't ever come on here for a damn live, but we can talk about him all day. Like, he's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. You know what I mean? Him and Chad both. I have a great relationship with Chad. But I got close with them. Like, I got to know Chad, like, from Corky's and everything else. Get to know him. But it was when Leaf and them won A Worlds. Like, I was there for that whole ride with them because we got knocked out. We played them, and then we had a good game for like 3 innings, maybe 4, and then it went bad.
They whipped us pretty good.
Yeah. JB showed up late. Yeah, you were there, man. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then we decided to play musical fucking positions
in Salt Lake and Florida. They kicked the shit out of us.
We could have beat that second team so easily, but we had JB playing second, which he actually didn't do too bad. But we had people just like, oh, you want to play center field? Yeah, go ahead. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm like, what just happened? And the trailer's like, don't worry, I'm gonna change it all. I'm gonna switch it all back. And then he leaves to go with the AA team. I said, yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah. On top of sitting at the hotel for 3 days because of that hurricane.
Dude, we hit BP. I remember you got mad. You go, thanks for the invite. Because you're like, what are you doing? I said, oh, me and Blue just went to the soccer fields, hit BP. What? I said, yeah, we wanted to see how much the wind would carry the ball. And I thought you were like, you're crazy or whatever. You're like, hey, thanks for the invite. And I go, oh, shit, my bad, dude. You got
stuck in the hotel room, bored as hell.
Oh, dude. Well, Lish and I still laugh our asses off about that too, because Liam was like, we're bored. I'm like, buddy, I'm not your fucking entertainment, man. Like, you got your wife here, figure it out. And then he next thing I'll get a knock on the door. I'm like, damn it, Liam. So he wanted to play Phase 10. I got him on that card game.
Uh-huh.
So the one time I was playing, I went and met a guy and got like a little mini Sega, like one of those little mini retro things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was playing. I got the Super Nintendo. And I was trying to play Double Dragon, dude. I was got into it. My old nerd days came back, and I was playing some Double Dragon. All I wanted to do is couldn't leave me alone. So I played that and Phase 10. I whooped his ass so fast, and I said, "All right, now get the fuck out of here." I'm like, just rubbed it in the whole ass whooping, so you'd want to leave. But dude, that was crazy, man. Like, that was being down there and getting like that is. It was a fun time because I got some videos of just doing dumb shit while we're down there, but that was, and then we go on and do. That was a kind of a rough one, but the positives of it, we got to have a little bit of fun together when you weren't hanging out in the house for 3 days, and I got to build a better bond with the Anarchy guys too, just being there to support them because we got knocked out. I said, what else we're going to do? Might as well go hang out and watch the guys that are still playing, that are swinging our brand, that are part of it, and then Kevin happened to be there and build that bond relationship with them. Speaking of Worlds, let's fast forward to last year's Worlds. What a different experience. With us now both playing at the upper level. I found myself like you said, your area is tough. Like, if you don't get picked up by somebody else right away, you're going to be kind of floating. You got to play. So you be a drop for somebody, and then I played with Vivid, and then we folded right before Worlds, and rosters locked. So then I was just planning on going to watch my wife play. And I pick up with my old boys here from playing with this year, the Minnesota Maniacs, as one of their drops, and we end up playing each other. We get to the final 8. We're kind of going. We talked about. We kept cheering you on. I was like, dude, we could have played each other, and then we did. You got me again. I owe you one because you got me in fucking Vegas with that team I was with, and we took a 3rd place finish, and you guys won that whole one, right?
Yeah, we won that one in Vegas.
So what I tell you when we shook hands, I said, dude, if you're gonna do it to me again, at least go out here and win the whole damn thing. I sat there and cheered you on. You let those Amish guys get you too, man.
Dude, them Amish, they're a different breed of people for sure.
Dude, they are good.
Plus, like, dude, we were pretty cashed. I mean, the night before, I can't remember were we 11-2? I don't know. We rattled off like 6 or 7 or 8 games to get back into the championship. The night before, we played till 2:30, 3 in the morning, got back, and we might have gotten to bed by 4:30, and then we were back at the fields at 7, getting ready to play, and we played Eagle Paint, and then beat them to get to you guys, and then we got to the championship, and we gave it hell, but yeah, those guys were pretty fresh.
We do. We battle too. And I took that. I go back and forth. I took that walk because the guy that hit the line drive that you at third, he's just like,
Mm-hmm.
God, dude. He's just. I had to talk with him. I said, I talk to my boy all the time about that. He said one other thing. He said it came so slow he could read the engraving on the he could read all the lettering on the ball, and he caught it. I mean, it sounded like it didn't hurt your hand. He's like, what? I didn't feel nothing. He's like, dude, shut up. Like I give him crap all the time because he's a big bruiser, hits it hard, but I like to mess with him. But dude, it's one of the things like the battles we had and the battles you guys had with those dudes. Like it was a good game between y'all too, and our battle with them. Like I was like, fuck, dude, we just back and forth, back and forth. And if you look at the views, did you ever go back and look at the views we had on those games? The only game that beat us, right? Like any of we had really good support from all the Minnesota guys and all those Minnesota teams and people back home. So we had once we started making that roll to get in the top 8, it was nuts the views we were getting. But the only game that beat us in views was the Major World Series Championship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From the video of us playing you guys?
Yeah, that one was, dude, there was so many. And they had more, I think it had more views because if you remember, we had the support out there during the tournament, the night games and everything else. We had a lot of people there and a lot of views. But then a lot of those people didn't come back the next day, and they were going to their team houses and stuff and watching on multiple platforms and stuff too. So we had even more viewers because they didn't come to watch. Dude, that tournament was a special run, man. I know it was a special run for you too because it was we kind of talked about it off to the side. It was a way to kind of end the year, make a statement. Like don't forget about me, and with you finishing and the accolades, and then me being able to kind of have a platform. That's why I said I can never get a little pissed off this year with some things with the team. After that run, I was hoping we'd come out and just kind of keep that momentum going and that attitude. It's been a little rough start for us this year. We're at that point now, though. Like as you know, is all that other stuff's the past. Now it's time to start rolling, getting ready for Worlds. Yeah. But that run with them is something I'll never forget, man. It was special. And to be able to do that. And then I know you and I talked about it, and to be there together again and be able to post pictures together. We've done that more than once where we've been in pictures together doing something special. So that's been a pretty cool process too, to be a part of it together. What's your guys' goals this year now going back into it? Are you guys shooting for, are you going to C again? Are you guys shooting for B and A or?
The team I'm on now, we're playing C's. So I'm a chip on their roster. We're doing Vegas, Florida, just those two. But yeah.
What'd you think of the ball last year compared to if you look at the year that when we played the first time together with Bay Area, we were the air was thin, the fucker carried really well. We had it wasn't nearly the heat then from Florida, but when we played in Florida that year, like I said against Anarchy and them, the difference between the Pro-Am when we were at Bay Area compared to when we played last year, I personally felt like, wow, they got this ball dialed in. This ball was actually performing really well. I don't know what your thoughts on it were because you played with me, so you hit the same shit ball.
I had no complaints in Florida this last year because usually sometimes in Florida you'll step on a ball in a gap and it'll get caught.
Yeah, it's cute.
At Sea Worlds, we used all our home runs. We hit DBOs. I felt the ball was great.
Yeah, I do too.
We were told all year though that we were going to be hitting Pro-Ms in Florida, so I was pretty excited about that. But then when we got to Florida, there's no Pro-Ms to be found. So, or not Pro-Ms, hardcores.
Hardcores, yeah.
Hardcores. So
I remember we talked about. I think I bumped you at the stadium. You said something like, "Yeah, we're hitting hardcores tomorrow." I'm like, "What? Get the fuck out of here!" And I just watched the AA footage, and they were hitting more home runs and hitting them farther than the guys hit the stadium during the major. And I'm like, "Dude, these things are gonna be fun." And we got out there; they were just the regular Pro-Ms, but they came off the very first game. I didn't look. We were a visitor. I came up and I hit that ball, and the way it came off, and as far as I put it, I'm like, dude, these fucking hardcores are fun to hit. And then I went back, I went into catch an inning, and I'm like, these are just regular Pro-Ms, not the hardcore. So I'm impressed with ball. I think they got the Pro-Ms dialed in last year, and I thought they did a really good job with it. And now with these hardcores, it just seems like I said, we played in Kansas City quite a bit this year. I've played there 3 or 4 times this year, and they use it. And they didn't use it for obviously the Texas major, or sorry, for the conference major part of it. But we also played they had a B bracket USSSA event going on right after that. So when we got finished up with the conference side, we went and played that. But they did use the hardcore. And I was like, dude, it seems like anything that's not the conference things where they're trying to control it on either the 330 plus or the 300. It seems like all the other YouTube events I've gone to have really fallen in love with this hardcore and like putting it out there. So I could see maybe making that the ball,
it's a really good ball. I've had a couple people say that they like hitting it better than a stadium.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of go back to like you look at the way they're hitting it in the AA, and then you look at the stadium, like when they were playing the major. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys were hitting them, over the wall, over the scoreboard, like just launching those hardcores. And then they got to where now they're playing full size stadium using the stadium balls, and they're hitting less home runs and less performance. And I kept hearing people asking if they could go back to the hardcores, but I think a lot of it is because the stadium ball, and they can go to shit too. And I know the stadium balls of today are not the same stadium balls of like Halsey and J.C. Phelps' era, and that they're dumbed down a little bit. I think they're technically a different core compression compared to the original like stadium ball. But there's a whole debate on that. Those are things I do nerd out about. I get into those because I like knowing, like when the pro went to crap. The very first year I ever hit a pro-am, I was like, these are unreal. And then we played Kansas City and a few other major events, and the ball was just trash. I was like, how does it go from 90 difference? And it's more than just a bad batch, and nobody give me an answer. And I'm doing it for the Big Daddy Hack side, so I can give people updates and bring them more than just interviews and stuff too, but bring them news and stuff. And finally, I goes, yeah, man, we dumbed them down. It was a safety thing. They were just too hot. And I said, I totally get that, and wanted to make some changes for safety. I get that too, but like maybe we should have tried them with the 240 bats. Because the first year they came out, you were still allowing 220 bats. The 240s really hadn't dropped yet. Yeah. And you're comparing them off a 220 bat, which you're looking at your 220. I said, you probably should have waited and saw how they did with the 240 bats and then made your changes based off of that. Because now you dumbed them down too much and they just weren't. That's why I think the Dudley died out the way it did too. They weren't getting the participation from like from the locals like they used to. It's expensive to come here and everything else too, but like it was worth it for them because they made their money off the crowds and everything they would get, the following they'd get. But people were leaving. Like now it's an ASA event, but people were leaving the last time it was a conference event because they were like, dude, we see better home runs and stuff in league because the pro one was that bad. Like they came to the home run derby the night before and we're putting on a show, in absolute tanks. And then we play the first game on I think Saturday or whatever, and the balls just were like trash. Got guys oohing on the ball and it's barely going out. Yeah, like, you're gonna lose people. They're like I see harder hits and stuff in league. Like this is supposed to be the pros. Yeah. So I mean, it makes a big difference, man. Like you gotta draw views. I know you and I talked about that a couple times too. It's how you promote it big time to grow it, especially when it comes to the media side to get people to watch it. You gotta give them something to watch. Yeah. Nobody wants to watch you hit fucking pop flies. Get caught. It's not fun.
The little up and over the infield hits.
Yeah, I mean it's dude. I can't. It's like I tell my wife. I said I get pissed off for the women's side because they take their BP and they're hitting in the cages last year and they're swinging her Anarchies and the balls sound great. They're crushing. And so I'm excited to watch them play. And they get in there and the first like 3 hitters hit the ball and it sounds pretty good. It's coming out pretty good. I'm like, all right. Then all of a sudden it's like blunk and just floats. It turned into like who can hit the shortest pop fly to spread the defense out enough that maybe it drops in. That team, whoever can do that the most, that team's winning. I said, who the fuck wants to watch that though? Like, how are you going to get views on it? And then you go, you got our ball dialed in, and our pro-am now is dialed in, and it's good. You got to do something for the women's side. Like either A, make their bat a different standard, like make their bat like a senior bat standard, or give them the 220 stamp and make it a women's stamp. Like let them have their own standard of bat to go off this fucking ball you're giving them, or make them a way better ball as an equalizer. And I get some women that watch it and everything. Like, we don't want an advantage. We don't want an advantage. Hey, listen, it's not about an advantage. We already have it. We were born with it. It's not being sexist or anything. That's just being like, let's just put a 260-pound chick ain't going to bench as much as my 260-pound ass just because she's 260 pounds. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to curl, lift, anything. Like so. It's just we're built different. If we go golf in a tournament, you're not hitting from the same tee box as me. You know what I mean? Yeah. If we go bowling, you're probably not bowling the same ball as me because I'm kind of a bitch when it comes to bowling. I like to light balls. but that's a bad example. But no, but so it's not an advantage; it's the equalizer,
Yeah.
and it's also for like how many women's teams out there, even the majors, right? The women's, I noticed women's like just playing the tournaments that we did, playing that East Coast schedule. The women's events seemed really entertaining and good. There's a lot of talent, and I like giving that support. But even those teams that are really talented and good, they don't. It's not like every team's got their FIFA now, right? Not they don't have like this hitter. They're few and far between. The chicks that really absolutely smash, and that's why they stand out, right? So once again, you got to build your bats for the mass majority and not the few that stand out. So you got to base your standard off that, and I think it'll be a better success. Or give them a better ball, because that was tough to watch, man. Like I was like, this is what the first thing I thought was like, this is what it was like watching us the last couple of years playing here. It was like terrible, you know. So and I don't care about hitting it. Like I still hit a few out, and I still did my thing. I can whack it.
Yeah.
But damn, it wasn't like I had to hit it, and it wasn't much fun. Like yeah, because now this shows the real hitters, buddy. The games were fucking 2-3. They're terrible. like
Yeah.
nobody. Look at why baseball struggles with fucking fan base sometimes. Like it's boring, motherfucker. Like, and I love going to baseball games and stuff, but it's boring to watch on TV if it's a very defensive game with strikeouts. That's awesome that pitcher's pitching like that. It's impressive. But it gets boring quick. And it's just batter up, batter down, batter up, batter down. So with your bat, what was the I guess the reasoning, but why did you choose the graphics you chose on it? Put it that way.
A few reasons. One of the main ones, I mean, it was kind of hard to figure out what I wanted. So my oldest boy, Maddox, he has a condition called Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. And last year we had my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they run a 5-man tournament every year for a benefit. They lost two daughters to a stillborn. So they raise money for a local fund called the Brody's Fund. And what that is it's a fund that it'll pay for infant loss to families through that hardship, help those families out so they don't have to worry about paying for, funeral costs and and hospital bills and whatnot. So they kind of changed it up this last year, and they wanted to start helping somebody else in the community. So they chose Maddox last year to for all the donations to go to him to help with his fight with Duchenne's. So when they announced that, I started going to work with Maddox, and we call him Mad Dog. So I had him help me, design some things like these jerseys. He helped me design these jerseys, and that's what you see on the inside of the Anarchy. So
like yeah, that's cool. Now it makes sense. Okay.
That paint spackle, it's got that green. The teal didn't pop quite as much, but there's some teal in there. The jerseys, he helped me design these, couple different things. Cool. And then so mainly just, for my oldest boy, means a lot to me, and we've had a lot of support for him. And I wanted him to be a part of the bat too. And then on the handle is the YGT logo, which is You Got This. Good friend of mine. I mentioned him earlier in the chat. His boy passed away from suicide. I think it's been almost 10 years. So since then he started his own nonprofit for memorial for his boy. So it's a suicide prevention. So he travels the state, Utah, Nevada, all over the place, and he does what do you call it? Not seminars, but I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, he goes and talks to schools, and he raises money, and then he gives out scholarships. So he does a big scholarship thing. He runs a golf tournament and it's just all money to raise for suicide prevention, and a lot of the money goes to kids in the community, kids across the state for scholarship funds. So
That's awesome.
that's been kind of one of those things that I ever since then I've supported him the best I could. He supports me even after he quit playing and I went on. He's one of the guys that follows me. You know, just one of those close friends that's always supported me, and I wanted to kind of give him that, and have him involved in it too. So it meant a lot to me, but I'll have to send you the video. Like when he pulled the
Yeah.
bat out of the box, like he was the first one to see it when I got him in the mail. Um, just kind of a cool commemorative thing, and just
That's
showing my
awesome.
support there. Like if you see my bag, you see my truck, like I got YGT stuff.
Yeah. So I was wondering what it was for, and I thought you told me before, and I started kind of like I thought it was got this, but I didn't know if it was you got this, and I knew it because somebody asked me. You had to have told me once before because somebody asked me and I said it. I was like, "You got this," and then I drew a blank on it, and I go, I could not figure it out, but I knew it was something like that, and I knew it was
Yeah,
kind of in that realm. But it's really cool. And I said, like you see, like our bats this year have been with our graphics, kind of the throwback to how our graphics were with the new flavor and twist on it. And then Streets Bat
yeah,
drops, and Streets Bat was really clean. And I expected more like with him being Streets, like let's do some like graffiti art, street art type thing. With like how I did a flyer for him for when he finally comes on for his live. And that funny, he was supposed to do a live for him. That's kind of put us in the setback originally. We had to keep kind of pushing it. And then Curtis Stu did it to me too. We had to keep kind of pushing it. You get back to me late. But this was the guy, he saw me and he goes, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Dude, you're fine. I'm not mad. We'll get you in. You're just, you're a busy guy, whatever. It's cool.
yeah,
I'm not mad about it." But I sent him this artwork that I did for him for his ad. And it was like the graffiti artwork with him. And I was able to incorporate him into it. So like he was sprayed on there too. And then it was Street Life. So
yeah,
I was able to move some stuff around with our logo and everything. So it had some other stuff in it, but it looked like Streets Life, like he runs these streets type thing. And what better with your name being Brand Street? So I pictured a bat like that coming out and talking with Kevin stuff. That's kind of what they like. Chad's like, that's what I thought we wrote something like that would have made like that would look sick. Cause I showed Chad and Kevin both the artwork that I did up, and they're just like, that would have been awesome.
yeah,
Then when Streets released why he did his bat the way he did, I was like, oh shit, because it's more of just like a clean looking bat than the graphic style we've been going with. I went, well, that's a really cool concept, man. I actually really dig that now. It would have been cool when we cut it and released it to kind of give that message with it. Kind of same with yours. I think, we do like the sneak peeks and they're like, hey, this is coming. And like, like you don't want to miss this. And then the drop. And that's huge too, because I think it builds up that need and anticipation. Like I got to pull the trigger, get this bat because this thing's going to be hot. Like, like I got to get one now. They've been teasing me with it, that I need it. And I think that's huge too. But I think when they do the drop, to be able to drop that and why the graphics are this way or why it was chosen, I think that'd be kind of cool too, so people understand that. There's also people that would possibly, if you're looking through bats and like your bat, but they kind of like what's it like the apocalyptic better, but they see what your bat's about and why you chose the graphic. You think, you know what, I support that cause, man. That cause, that's a sick cause. Yeah, that's it. I'm getting that bat. I'm all about it. I'm getting that one. It was between your bat and this bat, but your bat's for this cause. It represents this. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm getting that bat. So I think something like that would be something in the future. Bring up to Kevin or whatever. Talk about when we do something like that, like how your bat was. It might be cool to entice that in there so people understand why. And it kind of flows. There's a purpose behind it. It wasn't just some cool artwork you put in for your font filler. You know what I mean? It was special and had a meaning to it. That's pretty sick, man. Like I thought it turned out really clean. I didn't know what to expect. Like we knew, I knew when I had my meeting that you're gonna get that, and then you told me, and I was kind of like, yeah, man, I already know. Like I already knew about it. I didn't know if I could say anything yet because I didn't know if you knew about it. But then we were able to talk about it a little bit, but we never talked about what it was gonna look like. That was a surprise for everybody. And I was like, man, with free smoke, is it gonna be like some sick looking thing with like smoke coming out? Like it's gonna be some like colored smoke to be a little different than like the previous. We had all the smoke, back in the 220 day, and I go,
yeah.
I know he doesn't want it to be the same as that. He doesn't want it to be confused as like it's the new all the smoke. This is free smoke. This is his brand. But I wonder if it's going to be like maybe it's going to be something with simplistic And so I kept going in my head like what you could do with it. And when it came, I was like, oh, it wasn't what I expected, but I liked it. But now hearing the backstory on it makes me like it even more. You know what I mean? Like it, and that's me, a guy that like, loves all our bats. So
Yep.
I can imagine other people hearing it. It mean a lot to
Yeah,
them too.
it's a fun conversation piece, you know. 'Cause I like talking about my kids and that kind of stuff. And I mean that's why I display some of the things that I do, like the YGT logos are on all my stuff. I wear these jerseys more than any other jersey that I have. I mean, if I'm not playing with my whatever team I'm on for U Trip this year, like you know, I'm wearing this jersey, and my kids wear them. My wife wears them. We did a fundraiser with these, and it's cool. Like that's been like the coolest thing about having my own bat is seeing it in other people's hands. Like it makes you feel good. It's like, man, it's really cool. Like love seeing that support. I mean, I did about an order of like 50 bats for friends and family, and then I kind of wanted to see them sell out a little bit quicker, but we did get a sellout on them, which I wanted them to sell out so it looked good. So that was cool, but it's cool seeing people swing them. There was some people that bought them that's like, hey, this is going on my wall. One of my good buddies, Troy from down south, he got it. He looked at it. He goes, dude, I love it. Rips the wrapper off, goes and gets a marker. He goes, here, sign it. And then he hands it to Maddox. Maddox signs his name on it. Hands it to Hux. Hux signs it, and then he hands it to my wife. So we all signed it, and he's like, it's going in my office. I'm not even gonna sleep. So it's cool. Like love to hear that, and people are stoked for me, and it's been fun.
It's awesome. It's awesome for you too because you're a humble person and you play hard and you smash, but you're quiet. It's kind of like I talk about like Billy Sanders a lot of times that your swing doesn't match your personality, like how you are off the field and how you walk around and kind of quiet and get you going. You're funny in hell too, but like like you're not me. I'm kind of a personality. I get it. And I can be loud and all over. And then times I can be quiet and be a dick too, or look like a dick at least. But most time I'm a personality because I know it kind of goes hand in hand. Being Big Daddy Hacks is a big side of it, and I try to fill that role, I guess. There's times I want to be quiet and be moody or whatever, or just be quiet to myself. But I come across like I'm a moody dick or something's wrong because I'm not being the loud, fucking crazy dude I can be sometimes. But getting to know you and seeing how you are, I totally get what you're talking about with that feeling of seeing somebody swinging your bat and how much it means to you, to see that. And it's not about like an ego thing. Like a lot of people think they deserve it or they're entitled to a bat. That's not you. You is more kind of giving back to the community for free smoke, how big it's gotten, how it's grown. Kind of the same way I never imagined Big Daddy Hacks to ever be what it's become, or the following, or the loyal people that I could take that break and be gone, or dealing with some personal stuff and come back. And I still get people to watch this. There are like 6 active viewers right now. But it's a Friday night. It's kind of like that's why I don't do them on Friday nights. Like to get them going. But it's not about like I was talking about. It's not about who's watching right now. It's about how many views we get as we grow on. And people watch it. And I used to use other people's lives like this, like on road trips. I'd watch them as parts, because it's a long drive. So it's about the impact you make, though. And that I remember the first time, like I said, I brought up several times at Whaley's tournament when somebody wanted an autograph, and I'm like, "What? Are you serious?" And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And I signed my name and they're like, that's awesome, but could you sign it as Big Daddy Hacks? And I was like, yeah, give me a minute. Let me get it for marker. And I went over to Whaley's tent. I practiced like probably 15, 16 different ways. I don't know how I want to write Big Daddy. I didn't ever think of anything like that.
Well,
and just being BD Hacks, so I can make it short and sweet.
It's funny you mentioned signing that though, too, because Ricky called me. He's like, hey, I need your signature. Just put it on paper. And I was like, all right. I sent it to him. He's like, that's not going to work. I can't get it to work. And like my original signature is just an N, A T, and then an A and a scribble. And I didn't like how it looked. Like on paper, it looked fine, but on a bat, I'm like, that's not going to flow. So we were driving down to Vegas for the opener, and I told my wife, I said, hey, get on there and let's generate a signature. So I had to use a computer generated signature because I don't ever sign my name Nate Buck.
Yeah.
It's just Nate Adamson.
Yeah.
So like
Oh
I
man.
couldn't even I don't even know what if I tried to sign Buck what it would look like. It wouldn't look good. So I was just like I told her I said, hey, find a good
Yeah.
find one that looks my style, and that's what it was. And that's what we went
That
with.
it looks cool, man. It looks like I can picture you writing like that.
Kind of, but yeah, I signed
Like
my
writing
name enough
fully
at
out.
work that
Yeah.
it's all ugly now. I don't take very much time on it.
I got into the habit. I used to write mine really nice, and then it turned into the whole. It just kind of flows together as one scribble where you can kind of tell there's a T and maybe that's an H, and then, but doing the Big Daddy hacks, I was just like, it's fucking long, dude. I'm like, how do I? That's long, So then I tried to break it down, but I figured out, got the BD hacks in there, and then the best signature, though, the best time I've done it, because I practiced a couple of times. I went to another tournament where somebody warned me that a couple people were going to want an autograph. I'm like, fucking A. So I was like, always teasing me because I got a paper that I was just going on. But the best one I ever did was the very first one. When I got the first BD hack and just kind of flowed. And it turned out the best. And I was like, that's pretty sick. But Whaley was messing with me. He's like, I remember my first autograph. And I was like, dude, it ain't about that. It's not about the autograph. It's about the fact that somebody wanted mine. Like I made an impact on somebody that wanted that. And it was actually for somebody's husband that got in an accident and they couldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
So they were up there. They happened to be up there and a big fan of the show. And the wife was up there kind of collecting stuff to bring back to him. And so it meant something. And I was like, damn, that's that person that I make that kind of impact on him. That don't take that lightly. Like we played a local tournament this last weekend. It was a small Botunk town. And the one that we won that Austin put on that video that he posted. And some kid came up and was talking to me, was asking me questions and stuff. He said, well, my dad said this about you, and my dad said that about you. And then he watched me, and then he just kind of came up like he was in awe. And I go, anybody else could just blow that off as just some kid, whatever. But the fact that his dad talking about me to him, about me as a ball player and as a person and as just bigger than like how I take it. I take it I'm just a guy that's been blessed to play the game and have good days and bad days. But the fact that I made the kind of impact on him and then on his kid, I was like, wow. Because the kid came up and talked to me afterwards and stuff. And I was just like, you can't take that for granted. And I think sometimes you do. You just take it as a kid or a person and you walk away or you got your own crap going on. But you don't realize that they're taking their time to ask you those things and approach you because you made an impact on them.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool, man, to have that because I never expected it like that. Played because I love the game and always wanted to try to leave it better and make it better. But that's pretty awesome. And for you, like, that's why I was stoked for you to get your bat. And I know you kept saying, hey, man, I'll come on. I know I was looking for people and I was trying to get something worked out and a guy canceled. I'll come on. I'm like, buddy, I don't want to say it like this because at that time, I didn't know if you knew you're getting your bat. But I was like, fucker, I'm trying to wait till your bat drops and then we'll have you come on so we talk about your bat and everything. but you knew about it. So I was like, all right, let's wait till your bat drops. But
yeah, I wanted to get on and talk about meeting in worlds and all that.
Yeah. But we have so many great stories to talk about. Plus that and research and development. Like I thought it was sick because we tested out these new bats. I think that's why me and you kind of hold them personal too, because we tested out these new bats and gave our viewpoints and opinions on them. And like the very first one, like that we tested was when Leaf was still here, and he was on his way out. He had things going on, but we did a good review. Went and hit him and stuff. He gave a good review, but he just was like, I think this is the way to go. And I didn't agree for whatever reason. I was just like, no, I think the model that we have now, that is the basically, they made tweaks to it since we sent them back, but this was the base of it. And I said, this is the way I think we need to go. I was like, yeah, the other one felt really good and it was really forgiving and just that, but it didn't feel like it had more to go. It just felt like that was it. And it wasn't putting up the numbers that the other one was. Because we numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. So number 3 was the overall favorite. I said, but mine was number 4. I said, because to me, yeah, it didn't feel nearly as good, but we were hitting higher velos. Like all of us with different swings were hitting higher velos. The ball was just jumping off it. And it didn't feel bad or anything. It just didn't feel as good as the other one. But to me, if I was hitting outside and I didn't have a hit track system or a radar system or anything like that, I wouldn't be judging even the numbers. I'd be judging like if I hit a bat that feels really good and sounds really good, but the ball, like it's slower going through the 5-6 hole. My 1 hoppers or rack shots are now 3 hoppers. My home runs that are creatures are now barely over the fence. And then I pick up a bat that that I'm hitting it and it feels pretty good, but it doesn't quite feel as good. But my 5-6 hole shot is a fucking laser. And I'm hitting absolute rack shots that are 5-6 feet high, and then my bombs are nukes.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that didn't feel as good. But fuck, imagine when it does start to feel good. If it's
Dude,
performing like that right now, imagine when it opens up.
Yeah, that's kind of how you get with the stiffer handle and the one pieces. It's like, man, that doesn't feel like I it's probably annoying, but I compare everything to the Bud Lime.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, it's
That was your
not
baby.
as responsive, but like you swing that new streets and doesn't feel like that, but the ball goes.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. So I swung the streets too, and I was like, I like it a lot. And you're like, well, how's it compared to the original streets? I'll be honest, I didn't like the original streets at first. I hit it and it rattled my fucking hands. I said, I was swinging alloy bats and I'd miss hit one and it wouldn't rattle my hands. I hit Streets' bat and go, why in the fuck are my hands vibrating so bad? And that told Streets, because you're my boy, I'll give it another go. I'll do another round with it and do another review with it, give it another go. And then it got about 20 swings in because we didn't get that many swings out. Probably 25 swings in, and that rattle went away. And then I'd piece it, and it was starting to. I mean, I was getting good Vila's numbers. As much as I didn't like the bat, I was consistently getting good numbers. And it's tough to bitch about a bat, even if you don't like how it feels when you're hitting over 100 every other fucking swing, and you're putting up these numbers like that. And I got into one that was like 108, and I go, fuck, it didn't even feel good. And then all of a sudden, it opened up, and it was unreal. And I compared it to like at that time the Clownfish Nemo, and that bat was so forgiving and felt great. But I wasn't nearly putting up the numbers I was with the Streets. The Streets didn't feel very good, but I was putting up way better numbers than the bat that felt really good. And once again, even compared one piece to one piece, it was a different feel for the flex, for the handle, for the barrel, 13-inch barrel compared to the 12 and 3/4-inch barrel. And then you go to the next years with the black and golds. And I thought they 180, like the black and gold Streets was still a good bat. But now the Nemo was the one to go with because of the wrap job they did. I think it's just going from that the way they did the paint. Because you got to think they did a layer for the Clownfish. They did 1 layer, 2 layers, then clear coat. So I added a bunch of. That's why it had a little different sound to it at first. And then once it opened up, it had a pretty good sound because it had a lot of layers of shit on it.
Yeah.
Then they go to black and gold.
Had a good doink sound for a while.
Yeah, dude, that black and gold was like. I remember Biscuit that played with us, a little center fielder dude, just. In the wind, grand slam, absolute tank. And I'm like, if it wasn't a 25 ounce, I'd be swinging that bitch my next at bat. So that thing is stupid. It was just unreal how good it was. And problem was that you had to be careful because they were dropping quick. But you look at like this year's Streets compared to the first one, I think it feels way more forgiving for overall, like where you would be at velo wise for miss hits. But it doesn't quite feel as hot as like his HyperX did for the sweet spot just yet. And I didn't get it hit it enough to really put to the test. Like I said, I didn't even like his first one. It took some swings for me to fall in love with it. And then after that, I loved it. But it was a different feel. And if you're comparing that, like I was comparing his bat to the Smoke, Texas Smoke. Well, they're different swing, man, different feel. Like Texas Smoke was just like, man, this thing's just so much hotter. It's so much better. It wasn't really that it was hotter. Because once I got used to that Streets, boy, did I put up some fucking crazy numbers. It was just that I was comfortable with it, more familiar with it, swing-wise, than I was with the other bat. And I got the Fat Boy coming in. That was one of the ones I wasn't going to talk about on here yet, but out there, I got that bat coming in for a one-piece. And it's the first one-piece I've gotten with the new tech. I guess I swung in the Streets, but I don't have one on me. So I wanted to have one piece so guys could demo it out and try it. So I'd be interested to kind of do that review again and give the opinion on it. But I did, just from the few swings I had with TJ's, feel like you're saying it's hard to compare it to like the Atomic or the Radioactive because it's different. It's a one-piece feel. So kind of got to get used to that one-piece feel and then compare it to other one-pieces and then compare it once you get it going. How many did they just have Streets out there like before they got released? Is that how they had when you did the demo in Florida? Or they have a couple different one-pieces?
They had one of his demos out there, so it wasn't labeled. It was just, and I swung a 28. They had a 28 ounce down there, and we swung that in the stadium. And I was like, man, that's gonna be fun. It's like I might be a one piece guy this year if it's that good. But I don't know, for some reason I haven't bought into the one piece craze yet. I don't mind them. but I still just stick with the the 2-piece.
So it's kind of like that with the alloy. Last year, like everybody was all about the alloy handle. Like the alloy handle's the way to go. The alloy handle is the best. And I like them. They're hot. Like I swung a bunch of rivers. It took me a while. Like first time I was like, oh, these are good. And I swung other alloy handles from other manufacturers before. And what I noticed is when you missed, boy, did you fucking know you missed. And with ours, it performed well. But it was overall really stiff feel, and I kind of got used to having that little bit of flex. I kind of like that little bit of flex. I don't like a ton of flex, but I like a little bit. It took me a prime example when our ACX7 demos dropped, when we got those in, how flexy those were. That was the opposite way. I had to get used to how flexy they were. Now that I've gotten used to them, I kind of like them. So it's just getting used to it. But once I had a day where we went and hit, we were testing out the clutch bats for paint. We had that issue, so we were putting the test on them to see how they're going to hold up and just kind of put them through the ringer. I got a lot of swings that day with the alloy handle, and by the end of that BP session, I was really loving it. I was hitting it really well. And then I did a demo with the nitrous because people kind of slept on that bat, and I love that alloy handle. I don't know what was different about that. That thing was just unreal good. So then I got the 12.5-inch barrel black clutch in, and I got it in a 28, and I'd only been a 28, with the 28.5 with the end load. It just felt different to me. Like I expected it to be like the nitrous, like just a 12-inch barrel. I was like, oh, this thing's gonna be stupid. And I wasn't getting those numbers right away. And then I realized being a 12, even a 12.5-inch barrel, I was treating it like how would a 12, like, kind of throw the hands, snap the hands at it, more like that surgeon, and not really not crazy aggressive, go out and try to overkill it, just let the bat do the work. And you couldn't do that with a alloy handle because it's more like a one piece. So when I had the nitrous in my hands, I naturally swung harder, more aggressive. Being 13, the way it felt more like that one piece. I just went after it without even thinking. The 12, I wasn't doing that. So once I adjusted my swing, my numbers went way up. But then again, like I said, I still not like if we went to go play a tournament and we had bases loaded and the game's online, I wasn't grabbing an alloy handle. You know what I mean? I was you know how hot it was. You know how I hit that nitrous. I'd reach in there and grab my OGKP, or I'd grab the 12-inch barrel, 13-inch barrel, 1 ounce end load with the composite handle. And that's just because that's what my go-to is for my most comfortability with the bat. But there's people that's all they want is the alloys. They keep asking me, like, are you guys going to do the ACX7 tech, with the alloy handle? I go, I'm sure it'll be in the making. I know we're going to do a couple more we've done a couple more of the HyperX releases with it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure, like I said, one thing I always say is that if the masses want it and they ask for it and you get enough people asking for it, I'm sure we'll make it. It's just the end's got to justify the means on that. Have you, I know that it's just it's just basically like, it's a regular HyperX composite handle, 12-inch barrel, 1/2 ounce end load, like any of our other HyperXs, just with a really, really cool paint job. But the paint job on it turned out super sick. And I think like our actual online, like you go look at the bats right now, you go to U-Trip and you look at the bats, it doesn't look as good as it does when you click on the live picture and that helix mutated.
Oh,
like when you look at it on the site, it looks like it's a blue and red bat. And you're like, oh, okay. And you click on it and you see it's blue and pink. And the way that blue really like pops off it, and the way that fucking pink just like that bat is pretty damn sick looking.
Yeah, that one turned out good. No, I've thought about getting one, but like I said, I'm looking at it now. Is that red more of a pink, or what is that?
Yeah, it's pink. So when you look at they got the real pictures in there. So once you click on it and go in it has the actual live pictures, and you see that it's blue. It's blue and pink and not blue and red. But when you look at it, just the picture we have posted, it looks like it's blue and red. It's probably why a lot of people skip it. You don't even click on it to look at it.
Oh yeah, no, it's good looking. The designs that they've come up with this year has been the best it has been. I think they're fun. They're more. I mean, the candy apple red OG, and what did Leaf call them, like the hot rod colors or whatever. But
same bat with just different colors and candy coat.
like the open season, like dude, that's one of my favorite designs because growing up in the '90s, I played Duck Hunter, and then obviously like my bat, like I've had a lot of compliments on mine, like saying like, hey dude, this is probably one of the best Anarchies I've seen in a long time.
I probably shouldn't let it out the cat out of the bag, but we talked about how we usually do a release of a bat, and it has two versions. It has its U-Trip version and it has its ASA counterpart.
Yeah.
There's an ASA counterpart to that open season on the drawing board. So if you think you like the U-Trip, because I brought up to Kevin about how I would go about making it if it was me. And he came back, he goes, buddy, would you do it like this and this? I said, yeah, actually that's exactly what I'm talking about. He goes, yeah, it's already on the drawing board. I go, fuck, I love you, dude. So I don't want to spoil it too much. But if you think the U-Trip is cool, wait till you see the ASA. I mean, that's kind of the opposite too. If you remember, like we'd have the dual releases, and the U-Trip one would get so much love, and then the ASA one would be kind of like the ugly brother, like not ugly, but just not as handsome. And this year it seems opposite. This year I think the ASA bats look better than the damn U-Trip bats on a lot of them.
I agree with you there, but there's also been some years where it's like the ASA is way better looking. Not way better, but better looking than the U-Trip. Like I want to buy the ASA because it looks cooler, but I got to buy the U-Trip because it's U-Trip,
I was trying to explain that to my wife because I said, with the Aurora, I love how the Aurora looks with, like I got the ASA, so it's got the black handle. But I bought my brother, because my brother's a big Balance fan, so I bought him the U-Trip that has the purple handle. And that thing looks nasty. And then you got the Senior, he's got the blue handle. And I'm like, babe, not only am I old enough where I can swing them all for each association, but then I have all the colors. Yeah. So you got to have all the colors. You can't just have one. So, but my Aurora was supposed to be for her. It was supposed to be a 25 or 26. And I was supposed to have, like I said, the Joker coming in. And some things changed. People kept asking me about the ACX 360 tech. And I'm honest to a fault, and I hate giving somebody else's testimony. I can be, I haven't swung that one personally, but my boy has. Like, if you swung, you say, hey, Trav, I swung this. I'm kind of like that with Kyle. Kyle told me about some of his, like, that he tried because he's another, Michigan, a lot of ASA. And I can give those testimonials, but when people ask me personally, I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you that it's legit or because I haven't swung it. And I'm telling people it's better than, like, the local. Well, I've swung the local. I'm telling it's a, amplified version of those LCs. But I don't know. So I said, I got to get one in. So we were kind of waiting. So then I ordered. We didn't have any 25s or 26s. So I ordered the 27. And I kept teasing Lish that, so this is your bat. You're not getting 25 or 26 now. This is it. My Joker comes in. It's yours. I said, tough titty. It's the way it went. But she actually hit it really well until she got tired the other day. She swung that almost the whole tournament, the co-ed. And she was hitting it really, really well in the 27 until she got tired. And so I asked her what she'd rather have. She said, I think I'd still rather have the 25, so we'll order one. But I'm messing with her so bad because I'm like, no, this one's yours. So that way I can order myself the other one so I can get all the colors. So I had to mess with her a little bit. But, dude, so impressed with it too. But that had another excuse, like I had to get it in because people needed to, like, test the tech out. But really for here, I made so many believers with the ACX 7. And with us kind of, it's still a cross-core tech tweaked for an ASA area, trying to take over or try to make believers. They're still seeing the cross-core. So, like, having at least one of our newer techs, I had to get one in. And I was really happy I got that one in. And I have the base coming in the half ounce. That's going to be a really fun one to swing, too, and test those out. But, dude, some of these bats that I'm just like, okay, I'm good now. Like, I got the ones for demo. I got all the weights I need and want. I'm good there. I got my personal ones. I'm good. And then they drop something like that Helix mutated. And I'm like, fuck, I want that just because it's cool looking. Yeah. The Fat Boy, I love the way it looked. I was like, dude, this thing's sick. And I need a one piece because I don't have a one piece for people to demo. So whether I fall in love with it and it becomes like my favorite game or not, it's not important. Yeah. I need one for people to demo because there are people that love one piece bats. And I don't want to lose that customer base because I don't have one for them to try. So there was a reason behind it. But I still fall into the fanboy. So I'm still a fanboy that when something drops and it looks really cool, I'm like, yeah, I gotta have that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything. I want to get one of those solos just because I'm.
Dude, that's sick looking too, man. Like, I saw the little teaser, the mock-up, and I'm like, it's all right. And then I saw, the video, and I'm like, oh, dude, that thing's sick.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's no free smoke, but it's pretty good.
No, it's not. I mean, well, they had to try to outdo you, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I'd say it's yeah. I like you more, so yours is better. No, I mean,
Appreciate that.
it's a tie. I like everybody, man. It's a tie. No, but it's just different. Like the artwork on that is also a little different too. I mean, and then I like how it stands out. That one that Hastings on that most
Oh yeah,
that thing looks sick. Like
that does.
they did
I
a good
like
job with that.
the white and the black.
Yeah, I mean, it took a little twist because we had the what was it called? That came out last year. It was the Two Face.
Yeah.
So it kind of looked like the Two Face concept,
Yep.
but it looks like how they should have made the Two Face. Like it just looks cool. Like it looks really sick. Like how it, because I like the Two Face was cool to me, but it didn't have that pop to it, to be honest. And the most looks like how I would have pictured the Two Face looking originally. Like it got that aggressive kind of like clean, but aggressive, and I like it a lot. I think that bat pops a lot too. And then like your bat's like just really clean. I love it. And then getting to know about the purpose behind everything adds that much more to it, and it's a sick looking bat. But we need some more dinger videos of you hitting it and some of those line drives. You have to post some more and then share them on Big Daddy Hacks Live too. But speaking of that, before we go, because we talked about a lot, man, and I know it's getting late. And like I said, I wanted to do this initial one so we could do some more roundtables and stuff and have you on more, especially too if there's a guy in your area or somebody you want to highlight. You can come on and co-host with me, But first, like, use the icebreaker, get to know you a little bit, let everybody get to know you a little bit. But when did you start Free Smoke, and what's been the driving force behind that? Like, what's, because I get it from doing Big Daddy Hacks Live. I had my ups and downs, times where I've wanted been like, maybe I'm done, and then, but the driving force is the people and my love for it. I just can't, my passion. And there's that journey and story there that I've let, pieces stuff go, and it was nice when I went on the Just Bring It to be able to be the guest and talk about it a little bit. And so I figured you probably don't get that a lot, so I figured it'd be a good question to ask is when did you start it, why did you start it, what's been kind of your driving force behind it?
Free Smoke, so we kind of have like a group of friends that we play together. We used to play together a lot down south. I don't know if you know, like Cam King, Tyler Dickens, and one of our buddies named Colton Hamlin. Colt Hamlin's like our big funny guy on the team. Says the dumbest stuff.
I like
but everything he says always stick. So like, dude, somebody hit a ball. It was probably Cam or Tyler. Hits a ball through the infield at 128. And he just yells out, "Free Smoke!" And so after that, we those guys were like, "Well, that's our team name from now on." So we kind of ran with it, and there was a lot of There was a lot of talk about it, and I kind of talked to those guys. I was like, "Hey, well, why don't we market this thing and kind of secure the name before these other people start trying to steal it or whatever." And they're all like, "Yeah, go ahead." So before I was like, my page was like Straight Shot Softball. So I changed it to Free Smoke and, had some artwork done. Just last year I had the new logo done. Here, come on, please. And yeah, it's kind of fun, like designing stuff and having logos made. And that's just kind of how it turned into. And it's just one of those names that kind of rings. It's a term that's used a lot in softball. And yeah, I just kind of saw it as being, a good name for my stuff, and having some good buddies that stand behind it, and gave me the okay. So I kind of just ran with it, and
that's awesome, dude. I think it's sick, like you talk about, seeing somebody swinging your bat and how much it means to you and the impact. I get it from like when I see other people out there, and I see them like with your stuff. I see them with something free smoke. You know, they're wearing a hat or they're wearing this or that or they're doing something that I go, oh, that's my boy right there, man. Yeah, that's pretty sick that you got my boy. I said like with Jody, you know, our old teammate Jody, think about when he had the Onyx, when they did the truth for him, that bat. And as people in Minnesota with it, I'm like, what? It's like it's almost like bumping into him here. It's almost like I was walking down the street and bumped into Jody. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, where'd you get that bat? I won it in a raffle. I'm thinking about sounds like, yo, don't sell, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, that bat's a lot like the guy. I said, all you gotta do is invest in it a little bit. You're gonna love it. And I said, it's one of the best dudes out there. Like, you know, so then for you, like, I'm excited to see that as more people around here have your bat. It kind of be like that. Like for me, it's kind of like that. Kind of running into you at the ballpark. You know,
that's kind of what I'm excited to see, and I want to see like I want to get on U-Trip Live and watch a game and see somebody come up with my bat, or be at one of these world tournaments and seeing people that I don't know with my bat. Like that's kind of something that I'm hoping to see.
Well, since we're not going to play each other this year, I want to see you win the Worlds, you know, because I know taking second, it'd be bittersweet to see you win it this year. But part of the saltiness in me from you being the asshole that keeps knocking us out of World Series run all the time, I kind of want to see somebody beat you with your own fucking bat. So that would be bittersweet for me.
That'd be a hard one, getting beat with your own equipment.
He comes up and he goes, "Would you mind signing this?"
Yeah. Give me an hour to cool down and maybe I'll think about it.
You're like, if you didn't have my name on it, I'd throw this motherfucker across the field.
Hey, I was surprised you wanted to take a picture with me after we beat you.
Oh, number one, man, and I tell this a lot. Like I can get my personal, like I'm there to win. I play to win. I want to give my all in battle. But then afterwards, I can walk. I need my minute two and everything. I need my time. But with the other team or whatever, like you guys came in battle, and that I have respect for. Like if we just would have laid down, got our ass kicked, I'd probably been like, Nate, good luck, man. I'll come see you after, you know, or whatever. But yeah, it was a good battle. And that I had nothing but respect for your team. And then for you, I stayed and watched. Now I'm supporting you because it's the brotherhood, not just being friends, but also like for me, I believe in like the brand. Like I tell people all the time, like why I select the people I do for the Big Daddy Hacks, you know, for the Anarchy team, for player reps that I've chosen. It's more than just their talent. It's more than just how they are off the field with people or their following or their posts or how active they are on social media. They also got to believe in it. They got to, if they don't believe in the brand, they don't have faith in it. They don't truly love it. Then I'm not saying they can't be a part of this, can't be a part of under my team, because I want you to believe in it like I believe in it. I want you to know, like when you're talking to somebody, you're not blowing smoke up their ass. They know that you honestly believe in it and you feel that way because you're passionate about it because you mean it. And you're that, you know what I mean? So for me, over the weekend, you look at what we did as individuals, we both did some really big things, but you look at what we did for the brand we represent. Yeah. And that's the bigger picture. That's the win-win. Like no matter what, we made Anarchy look good and Anarchy made us look good. You know, the bat in our hands, mixed with what we came out to do and the mission we were on, it went hand in hand, and we showed out and did our best for the brand. And one of the biggest things I always loved about you, I think you view things like me, that Anarchy's never given you anything. They've invested in you. Mm-hmm. And you pay that investment back every time you show up to the ballpark, every time you deal with a customer, every time I've talked to you on the phone or seen you with anybody, you constantly pay that investment back. And that was one of the mutual respects from, and sometimes, you know, sometimes I don't get back to you right away. You hit me up or whatever. It takes me a minute. And but when we do, we talk and we have our moment. But like, that's one of the things that I've always respected about you. And it's one of the shared viewpoints for me being the talker and you kind of being the quiet guy sometimes. The one thing we have in common is we don't view that we've been given anything. Yeah. We've been invested in it. We pay that investment back every time we show up, you know, we step out. So like, I knew that from day one when you called me. We talked about a bat. Was it last year? Almost the year before. We talked about it. And I said, dude, I got faith in you. I'd do a bat for you right now because I know that you view it as an investment. And you're going to sell that bat. And you're going to push that bat. And you're going to probably become an even better ball player because you view that you have to, because now you have this bat with your name on it. And I know that. I know that from getting to know you. So, I mean, I get a lot of kudos from Whaley when he's on here, and then the love he shows me and how he likes to always say like how Anarchy's lucky to have me or this or that or whatever. I feel very blessed to be a part of this brand and have them. But I will say that one of the best decisions and moves they made was hanging on to you and doing this for you, because what they've invested in you, they're going to get back tenfold. I know that. So is there anything before we wrap it up? 'Cause I wanted to make sure I said that too. I know sometimes we get talking or we get on things. I don't get to really tell you how I feel or how I see you, but I have always felt that way about you. And is there anything that you want to say or put out there before we go?
No, man, I appreciate you bringing me on and saying all the nice things, man. It's fun to have. It's nice to have a friend like you that has my back and cheers me on, and vice versa. It's cool to see your boys do good. And it's fun. It's been fun seeing some of the support that I've had, through my whole softball career, and kind of shows even now that I got a bat. Like, a lot of people come up and are like, dude, that's awesome, well deserved. Like, and I'm very thankful for Anarchy and everybody at Smash It. Like, I'm not like the big rep that sells $1 million a year. Like, dude, I do what I can, and that's I'm gonna push and do the best I can for the company, and I'm gonna represent you well. And then another thing, like, just the way we've done things this year, I feel is taking us in the right direction. I mean, all the pros that we brought on, including you and like Levi and Dakota and all of those guys, like, they brought in guys that have the best interest for the company. Like, they're guys that love the Anarchy brand. They trust it 1,000%. They're not the guys that just want free stuff. We're all bought in, and it's cool being involved in some of the artwork, some of the the demo stuff. Like, that's what, like, this year's been my favorite year, because I've got to get my hands on things before everybody else does, and it's helped generate a lot more sales for myself. I mean, look at all the releases we've had this year. Like, everything's pretty much sold out.
Dude, it's been so awesome. Our social media presence has been amazing. Like, we talked about change, like the beginning of the year, that whole fear factor that hit and everything else. And then I finally waited and did that video of the whole "I told you not to worry." I like to get little shots, but not shots fired, but that little, like, we gotta have a little bit of attitude,
Yeah.
But people ask me all the time, and I said, with everybody knowing who left, I'll miss him, love him to death. I absolutely enjoyed every minute I had with him. I learned a lot from him. And I say that we have a lot of similarities, but we have a lot of differences too. And the people that I knew that were reaching out, that need to get back to, made sure to do that part of things and stuff like that. But I always miss him. But this has by far been my best year, just because I'm a part of more. And I got to do a lot with Leaf and be a part of a lot of things. But I'm in the mix now more than ever. And Kevin and Ricky and I mean, dude, just on both sides of things. Like, even helping out with the Smash It side stuff when I can. And you guys that, like, 'cause you also rep with Smash It and do that. So you got that dual job, it's more than just one crown you're wearing. But being able to help out and do those things and get the feedback back from them and be able to reach out to them and get an answer back, and being a part of them on the bats or getting opinions, like getting a little teaser from the artwork and getting a look at it and stuff like that, and feeling like you're in on the mix. Because you can feel like you're part of it. Hey, man, you're crucial to this brand. You'll always be a part of it for as long as you want. That's easy to say.
Yeah.
But this year you really feel it. And like you said too, the guys we brought in, we have Streets, which is the big name, top name, signature pro guy, right? And that's, dude, he's awesome. And I'm glad that he felt like this is where he needed to be and stayed loyal and stayed. But we talked about this before. I think you got to look at, you can go after every big name guy that's ever done whatever, but if they're not proactive for you and all they're taking is, I think Whaley says it best. If all they do is drink from your cup and they're not looking to refill it, then they're not doing you any favors. And I think for the owner side of it, it's easy to think that these companies they got tons of money. They can give me this. They can afford to give me that. They can do for me. I earn this. I'm entitled to this. And like I said before, we've never viewed it that way. We viewed it as an investment that we pay back. But I think with everybody that we've brought in, it seems like everybody does their part to add a little to Kevin's cup instead of just trying to take away from it. And I say Kevin just because, with him being the main guy for the engineering side and the owner. We have multiple owners there, but he's who I interact most with. It's him and Chad. But for everybody that's involved, that's under that umbrella of ownership with Anarchy, they got a good group of people that are looking to not just see what they can get filled in their cup, but pour some in the owners' cups as well. And give it back. Like, they generally care, not just doing it because they're getting something out of it. Guess what I'm saying. Like I said, man, you're one of the best ones to go after and get. And I said, I know they made the right moves. I knew from the list of names, like you said. I appreciate you mentioning me in there, but with you and with Dakota and like the things he's doing and now having the bat, and then like with Levi and Snyder and Kyle, those guys, when I talk to them, they're always grinding and putting in work, doing something off the side, and we all live lives, but we're always thinking and doing something for Anarchy, which says a lot. That's the kind of people you want. Yeah. Right. And I'm glad to call those guys like part of the Anarchy family and have them there, and knowing if I need something, I can reach out to them too. And it's not like, well, dude, you have your own shit. That's your problem. No, they get right back to me. Hey, what can I do to help you, man? That's awesome to have that. So, I'm trying to think, man. It'd be nice. We've had the opportunity. We got to plan ahead better because we've been in some of the same events where we could do a collab on some stuff too. We'll have to make that happen one of these days and do an actual collab, do a video. But most definitely want to see some more footage on your bat, and if I can get one in here, I'll get a review going. And Jockum that did the last review with the Aurora, I'll get him to do one as well. And he does a really good job with Austin. Does a great job with his videos, and he's kind of growing his brand, and he really loves Anarchy. So I think that'd be a good one to get in his hands too, is your bat. Let him try it out and check it out. But anything I do to support you, and like I said, you get some more video and stuff, send it to me or share it on Big Daddy Hacks and I'll share it out, and then keep tagging me on the raffles, man. Because even sometimes if I don't jump in, I send people. I'm like, dude, you got to check out this raffle. Like, I was at work. I want to get it so bad, but I couldn't be on my phone. I'm like, damn it, dude. And I said, I know this number's going to hit. I have a feeling this number is going to hit. That number hit. I'm like, God damn it. I'm so pissed. So, but any of you guys that are watching and you're looking for the best deals or looking to get on, and find, our product, but you like to try to, get, everybody's always like, what can you get it for me for? Listen, buddy, I get it for the same thing that Nate can get it for you for. But the advantage you got going to Nate is he's going to have these raffles and these deals going, and he shows support to his page and he shows support to his raffle, and then you're getting it for the best deal because you can get it for, some of his raffles are like $35 for a number, or buy one get one. You're pretty generous with those. But we do got to go over, before we go, and I said this a couple times, explain the last one you did, that Plinko home run derby. How did that work?
It was just like a home run derby. I mean, you get 3 outs. You go until you hit the 3 outs. So I got colors on the top. Put them in the comments. Like, you can drop from 2 different colors. I'll alternate colors. So if you go black and gray, I'll drop black. I'll drop gray, and just go back and forth. And you go until you hit 3 outs.
Okay.
And then winner guy with the person with the most home runs at the end of it wins the bat.
How'd that turn out for you? Was that a pretty good time doing that one?
I used to do them a lot more. It's, I don't know, dude, since kind of COVID and everything, the raffle games and the pages it's kind of up and down. That's the first Plinko I've filled in a while. I like doing them because it's fun get on there live. It's different. I also used to run like a deal or no deal, where I'd offer, something like $400 smash cash all the way down to, $1. You know how deal or no deal works, right?
Yep.
Like, that's a fun one. It's fun getting live and just giving people a little bit more instead of just like, random.org. Okay. Screen recording video. Like, it's something.
That's cool concept, man.
Something fun. I really like doing the Plinko, but it's not as popular as it was when I first got it. Hopefully, I'm going to start kind of implementing that a little bit more. And I also do like a high ball. So at the bottom, I have, all the different numbers from 0 to 1,000. So in that one, you get 3 balls. You can drop from 3 different colors. You can drop from all the same color, but person with the highest points on their 3 drops wins.
That's cool, man. I'm always into that too, doing the different things. Like we did some back when I was doing a lot more with clutch and doing some of the giveaway stuff and doing then. It was more for the when I do like I'd have built up like I'd have X amount of raffles or sales and have that commission in there, and so I would just basically or say it was about I think that time PayPal or Venmo. I roll it right back into the company. I wasn't looking to make any money. Same thing, I don't really look to make any money. So like the commission stuff I have, I usually use it to do freebies or to get more stuff to have more demo bats on hand in case one of my player reps needs a bat to demo. I can send them one, or they need one for a tournament. I can send them one and take care of them, and do those kind of things with what I've made. But I'd also do stuff like, hey, we like with Rodosa, we were putting up some crazy scores. So I'd be like, all right, first 10 people comment what score you think our next game's going to be, whether we're going to win or lose, and what the score is going to be. The closest to what our score. I wasn't worried about the other team's score, just closest to our score and correct and guess the correct, like we won or lost. We'll get it. It was the Big Daddy X packs I had at the time with the full sub, long sleeve, and the other stuff. And one of these guys nailed it directly. Like it was, we put up like 50 something runs or something like that, and they nailed it right on the money. Win and X amount of runs. I was like, how did you fucking nail that perfectly like that? You know, it was nuts because I got it like 2 hours before the game time, and then when we won it or when we won the game, I went back and looked. I said, "Damn, dude, he wasn't like this or that. He was like spot on with that. Like, Jesus, that's a pretty good guess."
Dang, that guy needs to go to Vegas then.
Yeah. So, but no, I think it's awesome that you're doing it and that you're keeping it going like that. And then I know it's good for as you being a rep. Obviously, it generates your sales. It's a good way to do it, especially if you can't. You know, like Brady and that, like you set up a trailer, you know, you have a trailer and you have all this stuff on hand and you go, and there's always risk there too. Like you have good weekends and bad weekends. It's the same thing with the raffles. There's like, it seems like seasons. There's times where you go and you fill the raffle within 10 minutes. You're like, holy shit, I got to run this. And there's times it goes for like a day or so and you're doing a step and you're like, what the hell? Like I had a whole week, we were in Florida that I filled a raffle like every 20 minutes. I was running a raffle, 25 minutes. Yep. I was running a raffle because they just kept filling. And I was like, wow, this is great, man. This is a good way like to sell shit and make a little money. Like, fuck, this is fun. But anyways, like that. So I keep keeping a fresh couple of ideas like that or going back to it. Like I didn't realize that you did that before and went back to it. But that's pretty cool, man. Next time you do one like that, tag me in it. I'll most definitely get in it, show the support. And dude, it's kind of fun too, like even being a guy that is taking care of, like when I've won some of your raffles, I'm like, yo, I just won this shit. Like I said, the fangirl comes like, babe, I just won this raffle. You know? Oh, yeah. So
it feels good when you win a bat for $35.
Yeah.
Save you a couple $100.
And then you have an excuse when you win them at that price. You can have an excuse for having so many. You're like, but
yeah,
I really don't want to have this many bats, but I keep winning these raffles.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you checking in. I'm glad I had it on to be able to talk about the bat. Do you have your bat on you to show it?
Yeah, I got one right here.
Show it off real quick, man. Dude, that thing is so awesome. I love the way the free smoke is so clean on there. Because like I said, I was going through my head like what your bat, the end game would be for it. And it is really clean. I like that color combo a lot. It's a sick looking bat, man.
And they added a little bit of smoke in there.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that in the picture before, but now, yeah, I see it. Yeah, bro, I never noticed that in the picture.
Kind of a cool little ad.
Yeah,
that was Ricky's doing there, and he threw it on there, and it's kind of cool in the design process.
Yeah, like, dude, I honestly didn't notice that in the picture because you take the picture, you can't tell if it's shadowing or something like that. Yeah, but now seeing it, that's really sick with the ghost smoke like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was Ricky's doing, and it's kind of fun, like. Design. It's kind of like when you do jerseys. It's like you see the final thing, and dude, I sent my buddy Chris like the one mock-up, like when Ricky sent me the mock-up of what this is, and my buddy Chris calls me. He's like, dude, that's it. You don't have to change anything else. I said, I agree. So I text Ricky back. I said, send it. Send in the order. So it was fun. It's really cool to finally get them in my hands. And yeah, dude, it's kind of
sick, buddy.
Kind of one of those things that you see all those big guys with their names on the bats, and it's like, man, that'd be cool one day to have my name.
I think it's everybody's dream. You know, if you're serious about playing, there's the people that just play for the sheer playing, and that's cool too. I got nothing against. I used to be a little different about that, but now I'm just like, hey man, whatever. You know, and I think that's what we're doing a good job this year too, with highlighting a lot of guys at different levels and stuff, not just primarily the conference guys and guys. We've like, I appreciate all the times they've highlighted us or showed us the love, and it means a lot. But we also got to do it for the people that are swinging our product, that are playing locally, and you do that for them, and no one else is really doing that. It means a lot to them. So I think just like I said, with the brand and the company, they're on the right track for success, and we're happy to be a part of that. Especially with seeing you, it's well deserved for you to get your bat, and I have a feeling like it's just the start, of more to come, type of thing. It'll be interesting to see in the future, and I'm glad, man. I'm glad you showed it again, because I didn't even notice that smoke on there. But do we have any on the website right now? You know, like how many are left, or all gone?
They're gone.
Damn, man. So now you gotta have people on there like chanting for them so we can get more made.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I've had a few people that, you know, the people that, oh, you know, I'll get it next week. You know, I'll wait till I get paid. Like I told people, I said, don't sleep on them. Like they're gonna sell out. I kind of wanted them to sell out a little bit quicker, just because it'd look better on me and the design. But it feels good to see it sell out. Then I pulled it up. I think it was Monday they sold out. I can't remember what day it was, but I was kind of watching the website because I was going to order, you know, an extra one, and then people just kind of bringing in orders here and there. And I pull it up that one day, and I was like, oh crap, like it's not even on the website anymore.
I've had it happen for bats I've wanted, and I go, fuck, it's gone. But I had customers like, hey, I went on there right at the time, and I put it in my cart, and then it said, sorry, that bat's gone. I go, dude, I told you got to be quick, man. Like, if I tell you that you don't want to sleep on a bat, I mean you don't want to sleep on a bat, because I've had it happen to me too. And for the damn company. So I was like, hey, when this bat drops, save one for me. That's not how it works. They don't send us all like, you know, a dozen of the newest bat and just sell them as you feel like it. So that's not how it works. But I was like, you got to be on the trigger. Just like I got to be on the trigger if I want it. And I was like, so I said, just be ready for it to drop. But that's awesome, dude. I'm glad it sold out. I was hoping it would. And hopefully, like I said, if anybody watching, if you're wanting one and you didn't get a chance to get one, talk about it. Talk about it on here. Bring it up. We'll tag Kevin in it. I'm sure he's watching off and on, or he will watch. You know, we'll tag.
Tag me in your videos. I'd love to see. I'd love to see you swing my bat.
Yeah.
And I might be able to get a hold of some this next weekend. We'll see. I think at this tournament next week, in this Anarchy tournament, I'm sure he'll have some of them for sale. So if anyone's wanting one and I can grab one for you there, yeah, we can work something out for sure.
Sounds good. So if anybody wants one of the Nate Buck, Nuck if you buck, free smoke, sick looking bat, you know, especially with the meaning behind it. Send a message if you're not friends with them personally or whatever. Just send me a message. I'll make sure I put you guys in touch, and then reach out to them, see if the possibilities there. If not, we'll love to see, you know, 1,000, 2,000 people saying they want one, so we can get another batch made. That'd be pretty sick too.
That'd be cool.
So, all right, brother. Well, go you with the kids. I know they keep sneaking. I see the door open and then peek through a few times. So it's pretty fun on this side seeing it. But enjoy the night with the fam. Thanks for coming on and being on here a little bit longer. I saw we were going and we could have ended a little earlier, but start getting on things. I want to make sure we touched some certain topics and most definitely got the bat looked at more than once, and just a little bit of everything. And we'll most definitely do a follow-up, and we'll do some roundtables. You're coming up.
Okay.
All right,
well, awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Okay, man. Later.
Look at that blister on his hand. A lot of BP from that guy. A lot of BP.
That's yard work. I wish I could say that was from BP. That was from yard work.
I got a few of those too, and mine are from BP or yard work. Married life. All right, buddy.
See ya.
Later. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Starting to learn this new format a little bit with StreamYard. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Learning more and more we can do with it. I want to start getting to where I can pull up some more things and show you guys some stuff and just go straight to the website. Pretty sure I know how to do it. It's pretty similar to how I did on Zoom. but I don't want to mess with too much as we're just doing the lives and get figured out. I did a couple test runs earlier today, and I was having an issue with freezing and timing, doing some recording stuff, and I wanted to focus more on just getting through the live and have it be good quality for y'all. So we're back doing the lives. Work schedule's been crazy. There's times I get off, times I don't. And then with my dad being in the hospital, that threw a lot of things off. So I apologize for having to kind of keep pushing this back. I wanted to make sure we got it in, got it knocked out. It's important to me. It was important to get Nate on here. Just being the friend he is and being, the Anarchy team member and teammate he is, and getting his bat, it's a big deal. And I wanted to give it the time we could and give the opportunity to come on and not feel like I squeeze it in between this, and this. So I appreciate y'all for being patient. I know we haven't had a lot of the viewers. I know Friday nights are tough. I used to do them on, that's why I do them like usually on Thursdays or like on a Tuesday. You usually get a little more viewership. Fridays are a little hard to get the active viewers unless you're playing in an event or something. So I appreciate you guys being on there. I look forward to the ones to get to see this after the fact. With this, it should be a little bit easier for me to cut these down also and add them to the YouTube channel as the shorter part 1s, part 2, part 3, part 4 type stuff. So looking forward to it. And as we get in the flow of things, starting to end these that are on that hour time frame. This one we probably could have, but I felt like it was going to cheat out of some things we need to talk about with the bat, just because we got into some story stuff. Work on it as it goes too. And give you all a heads up that the 17th, July 17th, at I believe we're shooting for 7 p.m. We're going to have Andy Purcell on. It's on the schedule. We got it happening. He's coming on. We're going live. One of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, to do it on the mound. I am, as a pitcher, I'm pretty damn excited about this one. We've talked and I picked his brain a little bit off to the side, and I am looking forward to having him on and just talking softball, history, the game, the changes, his role now, with the USSSA. And Steve Whaley said he'll most definitely be co-hosting that one. So you got that to look forward to. Mr. Handsome as a devil, Steve Whaley. Just such a cute little feller. He just, like I said, man, I've said several times, I would buy a ketchup popsicle from him in 120-degree weather wearing white gloves. Anyway, it's hot in here enough, as you guys can tell. The AC is not working in my office for some reason. I've been just sweating up here, looking like a shit show. But I appreciate you all not saying anything about it in the chat. Anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. I appreciate y'all. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for what you guys have done with helping grow Big Daddy Hacks. It might be my nickname, but the show is really your guys'. I mean, for the growth I've had and the success I've had, it's all for you. I mean, this is about the people and trying to grow the game any way I can, help any way I can. And please send me some of your guys' video and content. Be sure to share it to the Big Daddy Hacks Live page so I can give you guys a shout out, especially if you're swinging Anarchy. If you're playing an event and you're swinging an Anarchy bat and you're having success, you're having a good day, share it to the page so I can send it to the Anarchy page and tag you on it, because there's incentives there for you if we do. Okay? So trust me, it'll be worth your while to do so. So please do that. I truly appreciate you guys once again. Big Daddy Hacks out. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Thank you all again. Later.